1.
Oh my god. Subverted subversions. Oh my god. Subverted. My god.
Okay. Welcome back, everybody, to episode 11 of Subverted Subversions. My name is Jesse Larkins. I'm the author of Soap Scum. I'm with my gracious co-host, the King of Cringe. How you doing today?
Yo, it's a great day. How's it going, guys?
Yeah, and the two of us are joined by a very special guest. He is an infamous author of the Lit Renaissance. He's brought us titles such as Eggplant, I Pray to the Hungry God, Silkworm, and his latest novella, which dropped last Tuesday, actually, September 16th. It's the novella The Bath Procession. It's Ogden Nesmer, everybody. How's it going, man?
Doing all right. Thanks for having me, guys.
Yeah, let's go.
Yeah, we've been definitely been stoked to have you on here for a minute now. Because you're just such this eponymous figure in the scene. You've written so many great pieces.
It's good to be here, and thank you for starting off with flattery. I appreciate that.
Oh, that's what we do best here. We like to lube up our guests.
I feel very lubed. Thank you.
That's how we get all the secrets out. That's how we get you to spoil your stories.
Exactly. It's how we acquire our skeleton keys.
Exactly. But I think for this one, this is like a sort of a continuation of a part 2 with like the Lit. I think it was like Lit part 2. We were gonna have Miles on, but he's coming. I think next. He couldn't make it or something. So
Yeah, the original plans for this episode was to be this big roundtable discussion with a bunch of other people, but the scheduling of that was a little complicated, so we decided to kind of pare it down and just focus on Ogden for this one, and then we'll reconvene with the other guests soon. But
we'll
we
get his
figured
part
it'd
of
be
the
nice to
story.
just yeah, exactly, and yeah, this is part 2 to episode 6, where David of Tukey's Mag graciously took us through his perspective of the entire 4chan lit canonized history, and some, the internet beefs, the golden ages, the dark ages, the dramas in between, and all that. So I'm definitely looking forward to Ogden being able to shed some light on what David was also talking about.
Yes, setting some records straight. Definitely.
So
Yeah. After he declared "fuck Ogden Nesmer."
Yes. Listen, I was insulted. He drew first blood in this sense. So, I'm not gonna say I'm the better man here, but I don't need to descend to that. I'm just here to let the truth come out. Okay?
it's time to know that it was all Tukey's fault. It was Isabella's fault.
I'm glad you said it. That's all I'm gonna say.
We know who the real culprit is.
Exactly. Yeah, no, and I have to commend you guys, and to the whole Lit Renaissance thing, all that shit. I was recalling it, and I was feeling like an old man. Not that 4-5 years now. I don't know, whatever it's been since it all kind of started. Not that that's too long, but yeah, it feels like a lot of stuff has happened, and honestly, a lot of pointless stuff. I mean, it's not all worth remembering, but it is funny to get people's different takes, especially on the choose your own adventure, which is it's a very long, unfortunate debacle. But yeah, I'll let you guys ask the questions. I'm just here, like I said, let the truth come out.
Well, I guess since we're already kind of on the topic, if you don't mind, maybe holding off for a second on the Bath procession, maybe since we're already discussing it.
Yeah, we
So
could discuss like Lit first, and then we can do Bath Procession on the back half.
Okay, yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah, so David said that he was writing a choose your own adventure novel with you and I think another person, And I don't know if it's an exaggeration, but he said that he wrote like 9,000 pages or
Holy
something
fuck.
crazy like that. Yeah, I'm not sure if that was like an uber exaggeration or if that was actually like close to reality or whatever. And
So
then yeah,
Tukey wrote, David wrote, I don't know what he prefers to be called. He's a man of many faces. Mr. Herod,
That's a lot.
he did write, and he wrote for, so okay. So first off, the project is called Pancration. And that's kind of a stupid name, but it's an ancient Greek word. It's a sporting event. Maybe some of you are familiar. It's basically wrestling, but pancration means all force. And in this type of wrestling, you could basically the only things you weren't allowed to do was like gouge a guy's eyes and like twist his nuts. They'd actually tie their nuts to their thighs so that you couldn't grab your nuts. But
holy shit.
yeah, that's just a little history lesson. That really has little to do. That's just where
There's
the title
Greek
comes from.
MMA.
But it
Pretty
was, yeah,
amazing.
basically precursor. People died all the time doing pancration. It was pretty cool, honestly. But so Tukey wrote. Where did Tukey write? I think he wrote in the first phase of it, and I do still have what he wrote. It was good. I read it. I mean, 9,000 pages. I don't think so. That's not what we're talking about. But it was some
Used
good stuff.
AI.
I liked it. It, you know, this might have even been a precursor to AI writing. I'm trying to think because all that really exploded like 2022 or maybe. Like I said, it's been years.
Yeah.
But yeah, Tukey was involved, and in fact, I know that Jack Norman, who was also on your show, he wrote a passage
Oh wow.
for Pancreatic. Yep. We had a lot of help. In fact, really, the guy who's been carrying most of it is Lucas Beinville. He's around the scene. Someone else. Oh, you know, if I can just pass around now, it's my turn to say fuck somebody. I gotta say fuck Capitalissimo
Oh
of the
shit.
Sidebar podcast because Cap was supposed to write the third portion of the first phase that David wrote,
Oh
and he dropped
whoa.
out. Yeah, he dropped out, so he dropped the ball, and I had to fill in his portion. Okay, so that's the real story here. Is basically
It's okay.
people dropped like flies. Cap, fuck Cap, fuck L.A. Labuschagne. He also dropped out. I think Zulu Elitpa also dropped out. This
The
project has
whole
been doomed.
crew.
Just
The whole
everybody.
motherfucking crew.
Oh
The
my
the
god.
only the only one who really, and I have to give him credit, Lucas Beinville has from the beginning. He really took an interest in this project, and in fact, I hope I hope I'm not getting anybody's hopes up, but I do have good news, which is that the project is not dead. Thanks to Lucas
Oh.
Beinville, he was able to basically bring us right to the final phase. So there is just one phase left to do of this big, stupid, choose your own adventure project that I fucking hate, but it will be done. And you're going to see
Nice.
what David wrote, what Cap should have written, Jack Norman's piece. Who else is in there? Oh, and Alex Prestia of the Mini Mag, he also wrote a portion.
Nice.
So
Is this
Oh
like
nice
wow.
Cap?
collaborative project.
Is this Cap's like first
What's
written
that?
work, or because I didn't know
Gosh,
he wrote?
well, that's the thing is I didn't know he wrote until he wanted to get involved.
Okay.
But we'll never know what became of that because I got nothing. All
Yeah.
right.
Yeah. They all seem like they all seem like capable writers in their own respects. Man. So Lucas Beinville, he wrote was it called The Last Unicorn or something like that? It had like unicorn in the
Yes.
title, but it was like
Yes.
a war story.
So it was a tome, honestly, and I have to be honest with you. I never got a chance to read it because it was taken down off of Amazon.
Mhm.
Lucas is persona non grata actually in terms of KDP. He's not allowed to publish anymore. He has to get
What?
his writing in through these clandestine methods, submitting to Unreal, working on this project. Yeah, that is a story he'd have to tell you more about. But yeah, I think that's one of the reasons that he took an interest in the Pancration project, because it gave him an outlet. He's really good with like fantasy and sci-fi. He's had this book kind of in the works for a while that I don't want to kind of spoil anything if he's still working on it, but I've read it and it's fantastic work, a sort of a sci-fi piece. But yeah, no, he has some trouble with KBP. They kicked him out,
Was
and
it
that's
was
a rough spot to be in.
was it like content related, like I don't know, too political or something along those lines, or
I don't believe so. I
oh,
think
okay,
I don't know. I really don't know. He's gonna have to tell you.
it's fair, it's fair.
But yeah, I know that he would be probably publishing a lot more through KDP. He's a pretty prolific writer.
Yeah, I saw in the, I think it was in the Unreal Discord, he was talking about how he was kind of upset with the turnout of those books. I think it might have been 2 books, or maybe it's just one big one. But yeah, he said he was a little upset with the turnout and the response to it, and he feels like he's grown a lot as a writer since then, and doesn't he doesn't want to be like maligned and like too heavily associated with that early
Sure.
style or whatever. So I'm definitely curious what he'll come up with next. Then I'm definitely interested in his persona and all that stuff.
Yeah,
But we're
it's
not here to talk about Lucas Bindwell. We're here to
sure.
talk about motherfucking Ogden Nesmer and the Bath Procession. So let's
Let's
hop
get
into
to it.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah. First off, where does the title come from? Because I tried Googling Bath Procession, just getting some general, maybe some historical reference, and I'm not sure if I got anything concrete. So I was curious
Sure.
where you kind of came up with that.
It's not, you'll find that I'm not really good with concrete sort of, hidden meanings, clear stuff like that. So there isn't really something, if you were Googling Bath Possession, what it would tell you. Um, to me, the book is in the book, one of the characters is, not to spoil anything, but he's essentially driven to his resolution, the completion of his story arc, kind of like without really much awareness. That doesn't make it sound too good, but I promise the book is actually really good. It's done in a really nice way. But no, the Bath procession, it's just kind of this idea that, one, there's a procession that humanity, that these characters in particular are involved in, are drawn towards without even knowing. And then Bath kind of refers to the, no, I really don't want to give away too much, but to the kind of the destination basically where they're all drawn to. There's a kind of a like surrealist place where like the future kind of intervenes on present. Uh, yeah, I guess that's kind of what the title means.
Sure.
Okay, so we tend to go pretty hard into spoilers and all
I was
that
just
kind of
about to
stuff.
say, if you
Okay.
watch your show,
Would
we
you
just do
No,
would you like
spoilers.
us
listen,
to things
if
though?
we're cool with it, I'll spoil everything. I don't have to. I just want to
All
make
right,
sure that we don't. I don't know
that's
how
all
we
we
do it
do
here.
here.
Yeah, that's literally
Yeah,
all we do. The first 5 minutes
want
of
it
But
that
let me
book
reveal
was
everything.
like, yo,
Perfect.
just tell me the point of the book.
yeah. Tell us the ending.
Those things.
Yeah.
I mean, no
So
shit. I'm happy with the ending. I think the ending is I hate to I hate to like beat on myself. I'm really not that cynical or like that self-hating or whatever. But I've been putting out books for a while, and I think it would be immature to not like look back and think about what I did wrong. So I'm very aware of like things that I've done wrong in the past, and one of them is I have not been very good at ending books, and I do feel like this one, the Bath Procession, I did a good job with the ending. Uh, so yeah, I'll tell everybody, but spoilers. I don't know if we spoil things here, then
Yeah,
Then let's do
it's
it.
well, yeah.
Yeah.
So like,
Um,
I think I agree. Like, I think definitely, um, the ending just what is it, it ties everything together because like I think that like 90% of the book you're kind of not sure, you kind of don't understand what's going on. Like events are happening, but it's not until like the very end where like it's like, oh, okay, this is why everything is the way it is, you know.
Yeah, and it I was talking to another friend in the Discord who kind of gave me a thorough review and broke down what he did like about the book, but which is helpful, which I appreciate.
Yeah.
But and for me, the ending, you know, the book is small. It's not really one of these like Anna Karenina type. You're gonna just be absorbed in this character's life. It's you get snippets. So so it is kind of like a brief um I think like it's supposed to be kind of like a flash of emotions and the ending, let's just go ahead and spoil it. Basically, the ending is kind of removed from the earlier portions. It's a letter of sort of like a giant hive mind supercomputer transcendent intelligence in the future that is essentially the end result of a bunch of people throughout time compiling their intelligence and stuff like that. Um, this super intelligence writes a letter and is kind of I don't know, you'd say listless or regretful about being a transcendent godlike being, and maybe would rather be a human being. But yeah,
are
so
we?
mhm.
I was gonna say, ask, are we supposed to assume that it's the father, the original father from the story? Just now he's become so evolved and become like he's been passed on so many times that he doesn't know exactly what his identity is.
So the father Wade, he's kind of like a link in the chain, I guess you'd say.
Okay.
If you like puns, he's in the procession, right?
Hmm.
Um,
Mm.
uh, and yeah, he is important. So the blue glass pyramid is not exclusively him. It's more just like an aggregate perspective that is compiled from thousands of people, and
Okay.
the Wade and Abel are just two people in it. Um, but the reason the story focuses on Wade and Abel is because mostly on Abel is because he, not to be too depressing, but the whole point of his story is like he has to die for a goal that has nothing to do with him, that he can never understand, and that in the future the blue glass pyramid doesn't even remember his name. um, his duty is essentially to die and be forgotten for the sake of humanity. And so that's why it's kind of, to me, it seemed like it would be pointless if it was a really in-depth character piece when the whole point is to show you how frail and pointless this guy is.
Why did he die? Because I think like it was like he was poisoned or something. Like he was vomiting all the time.
So yeah, so the reason he was vomiting, that's impossible to say because I don't even have an answer for that. I can't even tell you. Um,
I
no,
think
I
it's
mean
sort
he
of like
vomits.
metaphysical.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's kind of, there's not really a good. This is kind of what I was telling uh, guy Normie in the Discord server. Um, you know, a lot of the ends don't really meet. There's not really a concrete answer for some of these. The reason
Okay.
that that guy, when he goes and he starts to vomit and he starts to break down, is because he encounters, at that point, that's when he encounters essentially the person who will be the blue glass pyramid. He encounters this girl who is sort of like a super intelligence, and I guess the
Uh,
kind of the point of that scene is like he's a human being and his body just kind of like breaks down and collapses and starts purging.
okay, so that
Yeah,
was
that was very
something that I had a question
scene.
about too, which was so I'm pretty the super intelligence is named Catherine, right? But Abel's sister is named Kate. Did the
Right.
guy name his like daughter Kate, or is like Kate actually the super intelligence?
No, it was the yes, you got it. It's he named his daughter after it.
Okay, okay,
And
okay.
I think someone was asking me, no, I think someone else was asking me about her specifically. Um, there's obvious Cain and Abel references with Kate and Abel. Um,
Oh,
and
okay.
Yeah, I was
I
gonna
think
ask if
it's
those were biblical references.
yeah, I really like, excuse me, I just fucking burped. I really like Cain and Abel is like I think that's just in terms of Bible stories, I think that's just the best story ever, really, Cain and Abel. Uh, the line, "Am I my brother's keeper?" That's the hardest fucking line anyone has ever said in literature ever. When God is looking at you and is like, "Haven't you been doing?" And you basically look up to God and go, "What the fuck am I? My fucking brother's fuck you." Like that's not a good thing. Obviously, not a moral thing, but very hard. Um,
He was aura
but as it
farming.
pertains to the book, the what's that?
He was aura farming.
He was definitely the original Aura Farmer. Uh, Kate as a character in the book is basically the polar opposite of like everything the book is about. She's very surface obsessed. She abandons her brother at his darkest point because she kind of just thinks he's a freaky, depressive weirdo. Um, and so really, I guess the point is just yeah, just a polar opposite, kind of like Cain and Abel thing. They're incommensurate, but yeah, I don't know. This is
And he uses the name you use the name Aleph as well. Was that on purpose?
yeah.
Or...
So this is so funny. Just all these little you can't keep any secrets hid. So that is kind of a reference. There's a Borges story. I think it's called Aleph, but it's about I haven't read it in years. I don't remember the story very well. But the story is essentially a man encounters the infinite in someone's basement. And so the reason I chose the name Aleph is because essentially in the last chapter it is the embodiment of the infinite discovering tiny little human, a third grader.
Wow.
So I kind of like that, parallel stuff.
Yeah, I love that. That's very fitting. When I because I didn't really know the name, so I just did a quick Google and it said that it means God in Hebrew. So I just thought that there
Sure.
was some very the aura of that tangentially just felt very fitting. Um,
Bro,
uh,
do
I,
you
I,
Google search everything in Hebrew?
who me?
Yeah, because I would
No,
have
no.
done that.
No, I know I literally just typed in Aleph and just wanted I typed in Aleb Bible, just to see what would come up and that was
Okay.
the first thing that came up. It just said that
Well,
there's like a
yeah, and
Hebrew
I
letter.
I left hints to Hebrew. I mean, what is it? Olamed. I think there's a portion of the book. It comes from the word olam, which is from the Bible. There's a lot of biblical. I wouldn't go so far as to say there's any sort of biblical allegories in the book. It's probably a little bit more hopeless modernist take on some ideas, but there are biblical, references in the book.
Mhm.
Hmm. So
Um,
if you think it's like if it's a hopeless modernist take, is like the blue pyramid like supposed to be kind of depressing? Like the end of the future is just like you're stuck in a blue pyramid and it's this AI that like I don't know controls everything.
So I try personally, I try not to do too much like didactic or like, messages or like, this is what it's about. This is the lesson.
Hmm.
However, I think for the blue glass pyramid, I think it's kind of hard to avoid comparisons. It's essentially within the narrative, it's a human attempt to build God. And as far as God building attempts go, you could say it's a respectful one because it's like comprised of humans thinking on thinking the way like a Platonic model of God would be. Um, but but the message at the end is essentially that this thing that is essentially artificial God coming to terms with the fact that, even if it could become God, even if it can transcend into just thinking, maybe at the end of the day it has no interest because it is ultimately human. And so there's a line between the infinite and the temporary, and we're all temporary. So it is, in that sense, I guess I'd say it's hopeless. It kind of implies, at least, that we're, as humans, we're limited to this finite temporary world. However, if I can just throw out a little bit of hope, I think that the message of what Abel does, of just, you know, dying selflessly for nothing but this mission that was basically handed down to him by his father, is the thing that keeps all this going. And so in that sense, through duty, devotion, selflessness, that's the kind of thing that enables people to transcend, which I guess is similar to a Christian biblical message. It's just not too, I guess I just kind of would say I'm not too grandiose. I mean, I couldn't,
Not prescriptive.
but
Yeah.
yeah. So yeah, that's kind of what's going on in there.
Yeah, I thought the way you handled his character was actually quite moving. The way he's just kind of moving along on this journey, not realizing that his end purpose is to, just kind of be part of this thing. And I feel like the whole book is kind of imbued with that sort of melancholy. Like from the opening pages, you kind of are wrestling with that undertone almost the entire story. Like even when it's dealing with sort of the espionage sort of thrillery sort of stuff, you can still feel this almost mourning like undertone.
Yeah, I mean, that is, if I did it right, it is kind of it's a sad book. Um, but um, but I don't know, because I mean, the books I think that not even necessarily that I like the most, but I think the ones that stick with me, um, they're they're sad, but they're not like exploitative. You know, I know that I've never read it, but was that book that all those women cry performatively over the
Old Yeller.
is that
I don't know.
not Old Yeller? Um, yeah, all those old country boys crying over Old Yeller.
Boy,
A
I
Little
sure remember
Life.
crying over old Yeller.
uh, but I don't know, because I mean, honestly, yeah, Old Yeller is a little bit exploited. I remember Where the Red Fern Grows. That's the one that they gave us in school, and that one was just fucking. I remember telling people at the time about that book, like, this is just too much. They're just torturing and raping a fucking dog. Like,
Holy
that's
fuck.
not literature. That's just fucking miserable. They no, they pull its organs out. You guys ever read that book?
No.
Oh my god, Where the
Maybe,
Red. Okay,
but I don't remember Organ Boy. I must have not. I must have just seen it. Because I know what
there
you're
is this
talking about.
part. Like, yeah, so there's this part. It's a story about the boy and his dogs, and the the coon hunting dogs, and one of them like has a fight with a raccoon or something, and like they go into detail about like all her entrails were pulled out. And this is just a memory I have because they read this to us in like elementary school, and I'm looking around at all these other kids like just sobbing over this fucking dog. And this must have just been an early sign of autism, because I was like, this is why don't they just like put the organs in the dog and like take it somewhere else? This is just stupid. Um,
So back up.
This is so hard.
now
You're R farming as a kid.
I I forgot what we were talking about, why I brought this up, but
It was
don't
bitches
read
who
that book,
cry over
guys.
books exploitatively.
Oh yeah.
Melancholy.
Yeah. I mean, the book is sad, but I like to think that it's a little bit more redemptive than just, the point of the book is not we die, life sucks, whatever. The point of the book is we are going to die, and you know, there's more to life than just not dying, I guess.
Yeah, I think you actually pretty explicitly make the point in the book that what is happening here, this whole process, wink wink, is that it is cheapening death in that by, you know, eliminating the afterlife and extending our lives, that we have actually diminished the meaning of death entirely.
Yeah, exactly.
Um
Right.
I was curious, so we were talking about this a little bit in the group chat. Initially, you wanted this to come out like I think a week or so before it actually dropped, but then there was a delay
Mm.
because of like cover art or something like that. Do you mind just going into that a little bit?
Yes, that's yeah. It's unfortunate, I'm sure. So okay. Um, I have a personal acquaintance who is a professional graphic designer, very good at what they do. And when I was finishing up Eggplant, you know, obviously I knew nothing about any sort of design or anything, and so I reached out to them for help. And they whipped up the cover to Eggplant, which people still tell me is the best part of that book, and I kind of agree with them sometimes. They whipped that up without even thinking about it, and you know, it like I said, it's the thing that people remember most about the book.
It's a
Flawless
stunning
cover. It
cover.
really is good. Yeah.
Yeah.
So for Hungry God, I reached back out to them, and they did the cover again. And the cover for Hungry God, I have also gotten a lot of compliments on. It's very, very well designed.
Hmm.
However, it didn't really have a sort of like gritty kind of aspect that I thought the story had. So then after that, when I published Silkworm, I worked with Unreal to do the cover. They did a good job. And for Bath Procession, coming now to your actual question, I had reached out to the designer again because you know I told them this book I think is going to be really good. You know, I'd love if you were a part of it, and they, you know, they're professionals, so they're like, yes. Busy schedule came up, couldn't get to me, and basically in like the last couple hours before I was just preparing my own cover to do it myself, they reached out to me and they sent me all these samples. Really good stuff, but unfortunately, as I'm sure you guys are both artists, right? Visual artists. I know King Cringe, you do a lot of visual art.
Yeah.
You guys both do visual arts?
I'm not.
No.
My publisher Cody did the artwork for it.
Gotcha.
I make films and shit, but I'm not. Yeah, I don't like
Sure.
draw or
Okay.
anything.
Then maybe, well, maybe film's different, but I'm sure, Cringe, you probably understand that I am a shitty client when it comes to giving like commissions. So, you know, when my designer gave me all these samples in the last couple hours and I was like, ooh, that's good. Can you make it pop? Like all these stupid fucking things that idiot clients tell, you know, artists doing commissions.
Just that
You
they
know,
just say
they're like,
like just the ask of make it pop. Like an artist would be like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like
exact no, and I've heard that a million times. And then of course when I'm in the client seat, I'm like, duh, make it pop, please. So a bad client is a bad client. I'm a fucking retard when it comes to visual arts. So it, the bottom line is it didn't happen. Uh, these samples, maybe I'll disseminate them someday because they looked nice. What my friend did was very good work. Couldn't make it work. So I actually whipped up the cover to
oh really?
Bath Procession. Every
Oh,
yes, every aspect of that book I did, including the cover. The cover itself, the main aspect of it is it's a painting by Konrad Krzyzanowski. Nice painting. I don't know. I like that. So I can't take credit for that. But everything else, the back has a little montage of stuff. I did that and did the little did all that stuff. So yeah, I did the cover.
Did you
I'm very
warp the
fortunate.
text
I did
yourself?
well. So that actually I got a font. I
Okay.
listen. I'm not. I did the cover. I'm not any sort of you know, aficionado or anything.
I
I
see.
got assets from Wikimedia Commons and the fonts and stuff like that. But no, actually, when I found that font a while ago, I was like, that's the coolest looking font. That's exactly. In fact, I did make a trailer for the book,
Oh shit.
and I was gonna, in fact, Jesse, I know I got a quote from you.
Mhm.
You know how little time I gave you guys to read it and write blurbs. The trailer was supposed to read you some blurbs. It never happened, but it was cool. The release was a little bungled. That's, I think, the long and the short of it was that, as they pretty much always are when it comes to self-publishing shit, it's, you think you have everything in place, and then in the last 24 hours, it all kind of just gets reorganized. But I think
Yeah.
it turned out good.
No, I
Yeah,
just like
man.
to say that for the cover and the font, I do like, even if you didn't like make the individual assets, I did like the fact that there's like the painting is like steam, it's rising up, and then the bath procession has like the waviness. So it's kind of like the font is like an extension of the painting. I think that's cool,
Sure.
if that makes any sense. But yeah.
Yeah, I can
Yeah,
see that. In terms of visual, sorry, what were you gonna say?
no, I was just gonna say I think it's all very fitting. I think it looks
Yeah.
pretty great, honestly, for you having done it yourself last minute. I thought you managed to get a hold of the guy and he was and he whipped it out finally. But to know that you actually put it together is pretty impressive.
Yeah.
Dude, honestly, all thanks to GIMP, free software, Wikimedia Commons. Oh man, God bless the public domain.
Hell
That's all I
yeah.
can say.
Yeah, it looks very digital and slick and just cool as fuck. I like holding. I have it in my hands right now. I like holding it in my hands. This sort of pocket sized thing. It's just very I don't know. I think chic might be too gay a word to use, but it's very cool.
Now that's, I mean, I always like to think of, because my books are pretty short, I like to think of them as books as art objects. I like the idea that it's pocket sized, it can fit in your back pocket. It
Hell
looks
yeah.
sleek, it doesn't look too showy. And the other thing is, I'm still waiting on my physical copies, so I'm still kind of like nervous. So when people tell me that they've got their hands on it and it looks fine, I love to hear that. It's
Oh,
really
you didn't get
puts
a
me at ease.
you didn't
Not
get like
yet.
one of
It's
those
still,
copies or
I don't know what the deal is. I don't live in the third world, but for some reason, when I ordered it, the printing said it was going to be like 3 weeks out,
Holy
and
what
fuck.
the fuck?
then someone on Twitter sent me a picture like 2 days after they already gotten it. And I was like, what the fuck is going on over here? But
Wrong distro,
I don't
sorry.
know what goes on with KDP.
Actually, since just because of time, I just want to go back all the way back to
Yeah.
Fly because I had this one question, which was at the end, because this is never going to leave my mind. At the end, the Blue Pyramid mentions that like people were dying to like get the AI to where it was, but at the beginning of the book, when he's going to the funeral, Abel, like people are already simulated. So was that
Mm.
like was did is Abel's story taking place after like people were killed for the AI, or like
Yes.
okay,
Yeah.
okay.
So in terms of narrative, God, I don't know. I might have sent this to someone via email. I did send to someone via email, like, because they had questions, and I did like an actual like timeline of how events worked. And so
Okay.
basically, the loose timeline summarizing it in the book is like, when AI reached a point, probably, around right now is kind of the implication of the book. At a certain point in the late 2020s, AI reaches a point where it's um, becomes a matter of, like, full human intelligences can be stored online. And so governments see that as a problem. They crack down on it. That's when Olamed starts preserving these AI people and compiling them. And they find Wade, who is a sort of international contractor on the wrong side of the law, who helps preserve and maintain these kind of things, and they basically convince him to be a carrier for the hive mind that will eventually be the pyramid. And then, of course, Abel's story takes place after he perishes, after he dies.
Actually, that makes me think and question. So in the book, there's like a blackout. Was
Mm.
that like an AI using a lot of like electricity in the city, and then like the
So,
news is like lying about the fact that it's a bunch of women that died?
so that's a good question. I The best answer I think I come up with is Abel lives in a world that is essentially um, deluding itself into not thinking that it is, you know, destructible, that it's on the verge of collapse.
Hmm.
And so, to me, what really is characteristic of Abel's existence is the kind of light switch effect to which things go from fine, acceptable, mundane to immediately miserable bottom pits of hell kind of suffering. The blackout, the blackout is kind of, yes, if you're inferring that it has something to do with, the way that in the real world large language models suck up power, and all of our, otherwise useful power is devoted to feeding this kind of cold, heartless machine that'll eventually absorb us. Um, yeah, I mean, there's definitely connections there. In terms of the story, it's not essential. I think what's
Okay.
more essential to consider in terms of the story is that Abel basically, he exists in this world that's very, very capricious and could collapse at any time and explode. And then after it does explode, it just returns back to normal. And he kind of removes himself from that, um, kind of as a way to reach towards a sort of eternity without saying, now he's going to leave and reach towards eternity. Um, so yeah, I don't think that's a very good answer, but
That's
that's
great.
that's the one I got.
Because like I think me and Jesse both talked about it, like the blackout was our both our favorite parts, right? I think that was like the coolest part of the
Yeah.
book.
Yeah, that was my favorite section. There, I just loved the feeling of that, and then him losing his dog. There was something very
Mm.
there was something just like unsettling about that sat with me in a way that I think really added to the melancholic feel that the thread that runs through the whole book. It's just like it just leaves you with these sort of ominous, unsettling feelings. Yeah, about end times and where we're headed, and I definitely love that section.
It's funny too, because we, or maybe it was just me, went off on a rant about where the red fern grows and exploitative books that are all sad porn about killing your dog and stuff like that. Um, I mean, look, it's fucking sad when like your dog dies. It's one of the most sad, just not like the most sad, but it's just such an unequivocally sad thing. And in the book, yes, his dog, who is effectively his one close friend, she dies. And yeah,
After
I'm glad you
saving
liked it because
really.
I feel like it could have really easily been exploitative and have some scene where it's like, where's my dog, and the nurse has to come in and go, I'm sorry, we couldn't save her. Like, you know we get it, it's fucking sad, she ran off into the night and she disappeared. um I'm glad it resonates, and I didn't want to kind of beat people over the head with it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it felt like it could have gone there at any page too. It felt like I knew that if it were to go there, the execution of it would have been almost banal to some degree to just kind of present life as it is.
Yeah.
But when she disappears, there is a certain element of like, oh shit! Like, is the next line going to reveal how he finds the
Right.
dead dog or something like that? So again, yeah, the way that whole section was handled was very. I just thought it was handled very well and very poetic.
Yeah, and I think
Thank you.
it adds to the cloak and dagger element of not knowing because it's like, oh, was it AI Mossad that killed my dog so that I would like deliver this, or is it just random? And like, there's all this
Sure.
undercover, like the Olamed stuff. Like, it's hard to tell between what's real and what's covert in a sense, and I think that's interesting. It makes the book you know.
And I
Mhm.
hope, like, this might be too forward of me, but I do hope with this book that it encourages people to reread it, because on a practical standpoint, it's not that long. It's 4 chapters, and I do think that you know, a lot of stuff later informs the early stuff in the book that really doesn't resonate. The first chapter of this book, for all intents and purposes, is not the sort of transhumanist, clandestine escapade that is billed on the back of the book. It's a really, really, I don't want to say slow burn, because again it's short, but it is a really undersold intro. So I think, not that there's like a puzzle underneath, not like it'll make new meaning, but I think when you go back, if theoretically you were to read it in reverse, it might also be informative in some sense. But who knows? That's, if anyone's crazy enough they want to read it 2 or 3 times, I'll leave that to them.
I think we're running up on time, right?
We are.
All right,
Yes,
so
I thank you for noticing that.
yeah, so let's just go it off. If you want to get the gamer girl bathwater procession, give us your links, Ogden.
Yes. Uh, I'm on Twitter at AskClapius. You can email me. That's probably the best way to reach out to me. Nesmer.ogden@gmail.com. If you email me, I'll give you a free PDF of any of my books. That's just the kind of guy I am. But if you want to buy the book, go to Amazon.com. The book is called The Bath Procession. So yeah,
All
thank you
right.
guys for having me on. Sorry to cut out so early, but
Oh, it was
thank you.
awesome.
Yeah, thank you for coming on. We really appreciate your time.
No problem. I had a great time. Take care, guys.
All
Yep,
right,
take
have a good
care.
one,
Have a
dude.
good week.
Bye.
All right, that was epic.
Yeah, that was a good that was a fun little chat. Us trying to make do after the kind of scrambled eggs shitstorm that we
Yeah,
had to deal with.
it's all Miles' fault. We'll probably gotta get him next. I think we're getting him on next, right?
Yeah. Or we I guess that's kind of open to discussion. I figured we might either do them right after, or we'd
Right.
do one to kind of separate this one and those guys.
Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, now we're talking shop on the pod, but
Yeah,
uh
yeah, yeah.
but yeah, I think all I really wanted to ask him a bit more that I didn't get a chance to was like maybe some of the initial inspirations for the book, and I
Right.
kind of wanted him to talk a bit about, because I know he's like, I think he might be the editor of the uh, some of the Tales of the Unreal volumes, or
That's
I know he's
right.
like associated with it somehow. So I wanted to talk to him about that, because I'm pretty sure they are almost done making those. I think he in the Discord said something about there's only going to be like 2 more volumes of Tales of the Unreal left before it's over. So um,
Ain't
yeah,
mad, bro, man.
I don't know. Maybe we'll have to bother him later on.
Yeah, we'll get him back on the pod and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Eventually.
There's a few people I want to bring back.
Oh yeah.
Not I want to bring Phil back on. Um, he's got something cooking in the works, and I feel like that'll be a good opportunity to hang with Phil again.
Oh yeah.
Uh,
That would be sick. Actually, you want to talk about Silkworm at all, or like give like a quick review, or do you think we should do that when Ogden comes back on? I don't know.
let's just wait until he comes back on, and
Okay.
and then honestly, if we can do like one of our normal couple hour long episodes with him, then I think we should just do an all out like review, like 3 of his fucking books or something, and just have this massive kaleidoscopic conversation where we talk about everything from eggplant to silkworm and all that shit, and
Okay.
we just grill him with questions.
Yeah, do the whole thing.
Yeah,
All right.
yeah.
So, I mean, we didn't have much else to talk with today because of the aforementioned stuff. So I don't know. We might just kick it back, talk about recent current events, what's been going on in life.
Yeah, all the because it seems like you know, let's just blame it on Jack Norman. You know, we drop an episode with Jack Norman, and then immediately afterwards, America goes to shit. So
Yeah.
I think it's the Aussie curse that Jack Norman placed upon the show.
Yeah, he put us out of commission too. We haven't podcasted for like 4 weeks because you've just
Yeah,
been
dude.
busy and shit. But
I got too wrecked by beg love, beg boredom to do another pod.
yeah. Well, I was also like busy at the same time, and like, cause I'm doing like the the Hate Spree one physical that will come out eventually, hopefully
Yes.
soon. But I was doing this, and I'm like, oh, do I want to try and get like 3 people on a pod? I was like, I'm just gonna put this off because I'm lazy. So
Yeah, it was a bit much to juggle. It was definitely like
yeah,
an exciting prospect to be like, all right, yeah, let's get
mm,
everybody on. But the actual execution of it was, oh fuck, you know.
yeah,
It- um, yeah, in a fantasy world, that it would have been pretty great. But yeah, I mean, yeah, I guess we can talk about
yeah.
some
It just
kind of
gives the
normal.
opportunities to talk about shit in life, and I mean, like the first thing that everybody knows about, I think, is like the assassination of Charlie Kirk. That shit was like wild going through it.
Yeah,
And it,
I was like,
uh,
how do we even bring up Charlie?
rip,
God
rip,
damn.
bro. I wasn't, I mean, just like as everybody else has said, I wasn't like I didn't agree with like all or most of his politics, but it's he shouldn't have gone out that way. That really sucks. And
No, a couple days after, me, you, and Caleb got on a call for like 4 hours,
yeah,
literally just kind of just hashing it all out and just talking about, the implications of it and just how fucking dark and horrific it was and all that. I think about that every now and then. I'm like, man, I really fucking needed that call because I just I felt so scatterbrained and emotionally like all over the place. I was just like, what the fuck is going on? Um,
yeah. I
I mean
feel
that
like
whole that yeah, that was rough.
yeah, no, I just feel like America has changed at this point, and I don't know, like the way art. I mean, trickling downstream from like I don't know, like art has kind of. I don't know if art has changed for me necessarily, but I don't necessarily look at art the same way anymore. In a weird sense of like, I don't know, like I think we talked about this a bit, but like I just don't. How do I say this? Vibe with like a lot of the art coming out of our scene. Um,
Mhm.
in terms of just oh, I mean, my biggest complaint probably, and this isn't just like aimed at one person or anything, but like the auto fiction, the sad boy right wing auto fiction, where it's like
Mhm.
it just feels like, man, we got like Antifa just shooting necks of our guys, and it's just like, and the best we can do is like write another book about how we're crying that we're not getting pussy, and it's just like, really, is this what we're doing? You know?
It is funny because I do feel like twinges of shame almost because I know I have like elements of auto fiction like in my work or whatever, but I know what you're talking about. It's this very it's like this not even trying
Yeah.
sort of writing. Um,
I would say yours
it,
is like different though. Yours is like, as White Pill Media said in his review, it's kind of like jump scare horror esque, and there's a lot of experimental elements to it that I
well,
think
right.
make it unique.
Well, because I have ideas,
Yeah,
like for stories or whatever, and then I just kind of populate them with, authentic details, but I try not to let like those details be what the story is or whatever. It's like, yeah, it's just kind of necessary additions or whatever to fill it out, in some kind of real sort of place. But um, man,
yeah.
uh,
But I was just gonna say, like, even in Soap Scum, like as you were talking about it, it's like the release of energy that like leftists can't tell me what to do. Like that in itself, in terms of directionally, is vastly different from, man, I can't get it. I can't get a date. The Chaz just, it's just like, man, like, I don't know how many books we have in that scene or scene of just like that. It's just, and it's more like than like five people. I feel like that's like our main thing that we do, and we just cry a lot about shit. So
Yeah, and
yeah,
honestly, I feel more emboldened to make the type of art that I have been making more so than ever because of
yeah,
it's just like leftist rhetoric ramping up to such absurdist extremes that we've seen so many glimpses of this in the past, but then every time it rears its fucking head, you go, oh right, yeah, total fucking disgusting evil monster people,
yeah,
and I need to devote my life to like being like a counter to that, just like making art that is just like totally uninhibited by whatever they're trying to impose on it.
yeah.
God, I fucking hate them so much. Um, did you see what happened with the Jimmy Kimmel show?
Oh yeah, I mean, yeah, I did. Yeah, I mean, everybody's talking about it. Yeah, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, just that they, he makes some really gay fucking comments, gets his show pulled, and all of these horrendous figures who denounced free speech as being the arms of fascist white men are
Yeah.
now crying freedom of speech.
Holy
they're
fuck.
like they're like the most just guppy ass fucking retarded goldfish memory losers who just like it's just like it's so psychotic and so obvious too when fucking
Yeah,
Tim Heidecker, who is like almost personally responsible for canceling $1 Million Extreme as it was about to take off, is literally on TV crying about freedom of speech because Jimmy
holy
Kimmel's show leaves. Like, God,
bro.
to, just what a black pill.
Their bar, like their bar is like so fucking like really Jimmy Kimmel was. This is the mass universe with Jimmy Kimmel. Are you fucking serious?
If we lose Jimmy, we fucking riot, dude. Kimmel's our
Yeah,
man.
that shit
Who
is
fucking
so
likes
dumb.
Jimmy Kimmel?
I
Jimmy Kimmel
fucking
hasn't been
hate.
funny since he was like huffing girls' asses on the street of New York.
Yeah, I
It's
don't
like
think
that,
I've ever seen a funny Jimmy Kimmel like. Like the only late night show host that's funny to me is like Conan. I mean,
I agree. I actually like Conan.
yeah,
I mean, he's kind of, he doesn't really get too political. It's kind of milk toast in that way. He focuses on the comedy, but he's always kind of tickled my funny bone. I've always kind of liked Conan,
yeah.
whereas all these other
Maybe
people follow a
maybe on
script.
a random day, John Oliver, he might say something funny once, but it's pretty bad 90% of the time.
Yeah, I've never really watched John Oliver, but yeah, every time I see his thumbnails or his face, it's like,
I don't know if it's just his
some
voice. It might be
bullshit
just his
face.
voice is so funny.
Well, yeah, Brit's got funny voices, and
You fuck him.
yeah. I'm like, oh man, we ever get toxic bro dude on the pod, we'll make fun of his London accent the whole time.
He's British? I didn't know that.
Oh yeah, yep.
Okay, that's cool.
We're
I'm
gonna.
kind. Yeah.
I was just saying, like, yeah, our pod is, we got Aussies, we're gonna have Brits. we just
Oh
got to
yeah,
get
it's
some.
gonna be sick.
We got to get some people with Down syndrome.
Down syndrome. We gotta get Jimmy Kimmel on with Down syndrome. It'll be amazing. But
Yeah, they should have kept Jimmy Kimmel off the air so he could come on Subverted Subversions.
dude, I wouldn't be averse. I would actually like to interview Jimmy Kimmel. It's never gonna happen, but that would be pretty epic. So like, why are you such a pussy all the time, bro?
Yeah, the no hold bars questions that we would pester Jimmy Kimmel with.
Yeah. But just like yeah, like all late night TV hosts are just fucking garbage, and it's just like, really this is where we draw. I mean, we all know why, because they want to win, and it's I don't know if it's kind of performative too. They like fired him, but then he's back for like 2 days or some shit. It's like
Yeah,
he
that
wasn't
did
even gone.
it did kind of feel like a stunt, like a stunt move.
Yeah, it's
And
just
I saw his thumbnail, like his return or whatever is like a 30-minute speech, and the thumbnail just said like, as I was saying, dot dot dot, and I was like, this
oh weird.
fucking sucks.
Yeah,
Like, fucking Jimmy Kimmel, god damn it.
and it's funny
King.
too, cause like Alex Jones, I think, and Nick Fuentes, I think they show like YouTube was like, oh, we're bringing creators back on for free speech, but not those guys. But apparently, it's because it's like they need to be part. They're it's like part of some pilot program, so they're gonna like onboard you back on. I don't know how that works, but
Like a trial
it's part of
or
their
something.
program. They're gonna bring people back on, but it has to be part of their pilot program. That's what they said. You know? Or they might
That's
just be
weird.
faggots. That's also. I
Dude.
don't know.
So yeah, also Trump declared Antifa as terrorist, which seems kind
Base.
of like, yeah, that's kind of like a no-brainer move, kind of like, okay, yeah, can we finally just can this be public record now?
Do you know how crazy, like, how patient most right wing people are, bro? It's like they were burning Teslas and like drawing swastikas on shit. Like
Hmm.
this, like, and we're just like, oh, they're just having a party, and it has to take for some dude to get shot in the neck for like, oh yeah, they're probably trying to kill people. Like, you think? You fucking retard.
I know, it's like, what is the moment where we all have to like,
Yeah,
I saw a lot of people being like, this is our George Floyd moment, like,
yeah,
where's our moment where we finally take to the streets? But that'll obviously never, it'll never happen because we're not fucking lefty retards. It'll never, unless civil war breaks out, I don't think like
mhm.
normal things will escalate to that degree. But it's like people are really fucking fed up. Um, even my normie coworkers who don't know shit about Charlie Kirk, they're like fired up and like getting in arguments about it, and
At work, yo,
and
it's crazy.
yeah, dude. I mean, and like I feel myself getting fucking agitated by some people. They'll just like say something which is just so offhand or so idiotic, and you'll just catch yourself in the wrong mood, and you'll just want to be like, "Are you kidding me, man?" Like you're just like,
Yeah,
"Oh, you fucking think that?" But I gotta like catch myself and be like, "God, that's just how fucking emotional this whole situation has got me." And
yeah,
I mean, I'm obviously not alone because of like South Korea and Canada and like all these fucking countries are the people are taking to the streets saying
yo,
shit
that's
like I am Charlie
crazy.
Kirk.
I didn't
Dude,
think like I thought it was just be an America thing. Yeah, but when you mentioned those other nations, like, wow, it really did have like a huge impact. It's insane.
yeah, everyone, it's not just America. It's like all across the globe, people are taking to the streets. I think like a day or two after it happened, I went into a record shop, and right at the counter where you check things out, there was like a massive pile of stickers and stamps and shit that all said "We are Charlie Kirk" and all this shit.
Oh,
So it's I know a lot of people are kind of dogging on the fact that they don't see anything happening radically fast or something, but I do feel I feel I feel it in a strange way. I feel it in the air. It feels like people are really, they're fed the fuck up, and this one incident in particular has struck a huge chord.
yeah, and I think I think Sam Hyde said this is just like it's it's like normal people versus like psychopaths, like people who like hate beautiful things, because it's like, I mean, if you think about it, like Antifa and stuff like that, like who has time to like riot or like burn things in the middle of the day? Oh, people who like can't get jobs or like are schizophrenics, schizophrenics. It's like
Yeah,
normal people don't have time for this bullshit, bro.
yeah. They're either door dashers or professional agitators.
Yeah,
It's like there's like no in between, and I'm glad you know it at least to hear the words that, like, there's going to be some sort of crackdown happening. There's going to be some sort of scrutinization of this kind of behavior and shit. Like it's like, yeah, no shit, this has to happen.
yeah,
It's been going on for too fucking long. um and it's just radical.
yeah. And we definitely, I feel like we've come a long way. I mean, I think you remember when it was back in like 2020, and 2020 and shit like that felt like, I don't know, like leftists were winning, like shit was just gonna go downhill. We were just gonna
Mhm.
get our authoritarian state, but like, I don't know. Hopefully things turn around. It feels like definitely something has changed. I mean, I don't
No,
think the
I
yeah.
agree with that. I used to like, I remember this one short story I was writing. I think I scrapped it, but it was literally like, like fantasizing about a leftist dystopian America where like conservatives are rounded up in camps and shit, because
Holy
there
fuck.
was a certain point. I mean, there was a certain point where it just felt like that was inevitable or something. It
Yeah.
just felt like that was a possible, that just felt like a possibility. I don't know if that makes me sound
I
totally
mean,
insane, but
they
I
did
felt
like
that
didn't they
to some
rounded
degree.
up people in Australia, I think, because they wouldn't take the COVID shot into like internment camps or something like that.
Right. Like there is actual like dogmatic, like weird examples of them enacting sort of like, yeah, weird fascist shit like that, that it
Yeah.
isn't hard to then see the connecting dots, the literal history of of every communist country. You're just like watching it in front of your eyes. You're like, "Oh, fuck me." So,
Yeah.
yeah, so when we were having that talk, Caleb made a really good point. He was saying that uh Turning Point is taking on this really strange, um morbid, synchronistic sort of meaning behind it, where now it seems like this is a turning point of some kind after Charlie's death. And
Yeah.
even I saw there was a House bill in North Carolina that passed, and basically some of the same shit, that they're cracking down on political violence, or so it's almost, it's like how they determine hate crimes. They're going to determine if it's like politically motivated.
Okay.
And this guy, the guy who was like mainly in charge of passing the bill, he used the phrase turning point, and not in a wink wink to Turning Point, but just like casually, as like, this is a turning point in our country, sort of thing. So it is very strange that all of these things seem to be kind of working together in some way.
No, it's true. Like life sometimes seems random, and then shit like this happens, and you're like, turning point, America, turning. It's just the synchronicities are getting out of control.
Yeah, dude. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, the synchronicities are so weird. And I think I was telling you that I was experiencing some really weird ones
Yeah.
the past few weeks. Because like my, Irina died, and that happens, and you're like, oh, God, that fucking sucks. That's horrendous.
Yeah.
Um, and then one of my very, very close friends died.
Wait.
And I was like,
Wait. So,
oh shit.
um, is Irina like one of your pets or?
No, no, no. Irina Zarutsky, the girl who was stabbed
Oh,
on the
I'm so
subway.
fucking retarded. I'm an idiot. Yes.
Oh, you're good. You're good. We're both retarded.
I was like,
So
Irina,
there was
who
a
the
subway
fuck?
stabbing.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's a subway stabbing, and then my friend fucking is killed by a drunk driver, and then a few days later, Charlie is assassinated, and I'm just like, I feel so inundated by death, and like, obviously I'm gonna sound like a schizophrenic, but like all of these shows and movies that me and Allie had held off watching, we were like on pause or whatever, like, because shit happens. Like, oh, we're gonna watch this show this day, but if she comes home too late, then we can't watch it. Got to save it for a day. So this happens. You end up pushing shows back and movies back and shit. So all of this death happens, and then we finally start catching up on like all these things we had been putting off, and literally every single one of the things we had been putting off were focused super heavily around losing loved ones and like deaths that have major impacts, and it just felt so I don't know. It just felt like the universe was like beating me over the head uh with just like almost like nihilistic symbolism or something. I know it wasn't nihilistic because it wants me to like pay attention to it or something, but
Yeah,
it was just brutal. It just felt so brutal being surrounded by all these like death messages or something.
yeah, the pain in the world, and yeah, I don't know. I mean, obviously that's gonna be like, hopefully maybe energy for whatever you do next. Whether it's artistic work or
Yeah, I do feel I definitely do feel I don't know if energized is the right word, but I've been feeling the need to write lately, and I've been I've been getting these strange spurts where I'll absolutely need to just start cracking out a couple pages of something, and I have no idea what it is, but it's just like it just kind of comes over me, and I'm like, oh yeah, I gotta get this down because I know it'll be important at some point, but I feel it. The all everything's converging at once in this overwhelming sort of way.
yeah, it's getting to that point where I don't know, things are coalescing, and it feels that way too with like everything with like how the right wing, even how our writing scene is going. It feels like things are kind of moving forward in a more, what is it, directed direction. I don't know how to say it, like cohesive direction, like the
Yeah, more pointed.
yeah. The other day I actually saw shout out to Hard R magazine. Those guys have like their first print version, I think, out now or something, and like they actually got retweeted by Milo, which was pretty crazy. So
Yeah, that's pretty nuts. I saw Milo retweeted that. He also
yeah.
retweeted a copy of Libertine Dissolves too, which
Really?
is nuts. Yeah. So I'm like, okay, so Milo's sort of tangentially aware of our little scene going on here.
Yeah, we're gonna
Um,
we're gonna finally get Milo on the fucking lit. He's gonna read Nutcracker and shit.
yeah, get Milo on the pod.
Be cool.
Yeah, what do you think of incel?
Yeah. You're right. I don't. Do we have gay folks in the scene? Oh, I guess you could read Dragon Day and relate.
I've got one gay short story. He can just
Yeah.
read that, and
Oh,
yeah, we'll call it good.
really? Which one? Which one was that? Did you publish it or?
It's in Soapscum. It's
Okay.
the shop class turns into a gay
That's
orgy at the end.
right. That's right. Okay. Yeah. That's right. You could read that one.
I Dude, I love White Pill Media's review of Soapscum.
Oh yeah.
There's so many funny lines. He because he's describing the gay orgy. He goes, one story ends with a gay orgy. I did not like it.
Yeah.
I I've just been like saying that around my apartment. I did not like it. And
Yeah.
he's like, one character eats a girl's ass and then eats her vagina. That's disgusting. That's really fucking gross.
Yeah. Oh man. It's kind of
I'm
He's
just
kind of
like, oh
autistic.
shit, I
I
got
love
him.
it.
What was that?
He's kind of autistic. I love it. He's just like, no,
Yeah, no.
you
I definitely my salacious horniness definitely rubbed him the wrong way or something. He's like,
yeah,
oh, too much, which is kind of the goal of the book to some
Yeah.
degree. So I cannot even be mad at that reaction. I kind of love it actually.
Nah, we need like perspective from everybody, but as long as they're honest, and I don't think White Pill Media was anything but honest in his review, where he was just like, I didn't like it. It was just, but it was just all the random stuff that you necessarily wouldn't think about, but it's like, yeah, I guess if you really view it from this, it would piss you off and stuff like that. So I mean, even
Yeah,
even
no, I
even in my review the first time, like I was like, yeah, I wasn't the hugest fan. It's so funny now looking back, because it's almost like now I would like take back my review in the sense that I was like, it's different now. I think like a lot of the gross parts are like what makes the book good, but at the time I was like, oh man, I don't know if I can read a lot of this stuff.
well, yeah, it's definitely very abrasive
Yeah.
and intentionally so. And it's hard to contend with, and it's even hard for me to contend with. Like, I read shit from that book and I'm like, holy fuck, why did I write that? Like, I can't believe I wrote that. But I that's also an instinct that I
Yeah.
I feel like I have to keep following. And as dark and fucked up as that is, it is also good to get perspectives from people who are like on the light in some way, or like they're totally opposite
Hmm.
sensibilities from me, to kind of like, oh yeah, almost give me that bird's eye view of like what I've been doing. um yeah, I definitely appreciated hearing all that.
Yeah, no. And it's just funny. I remember because he was also very didactic about hate spree. He was like mixed recommended. It wasn't a full recommend because of like all the sex shit. I was like, I'll take it, bro. It's just
That
funny.
is funny because you quoted him on
Yeah,
Hate Spree 2. But
yeah.
he was like, yeah, I'm not. Yeah, I actually haven't heard that review. Is it part of a compendium of like 5 hours of reviews, or is that can I
No,
find that on its own?
he has. It's a YouTube video. I'll send it to you later. It's
Okay,
separate.
cool.
He actually cut it out because he originally put it on Odyssey, but then he realized YouTube doesn't give a fuck, so he just put it on YouTube.
So, what is going on with Hate Spree 1 physical? Um, do we have like a date in mind for that?
I don't have a date because I'm horrible at those, but I would say I don't want to get everybody's hopes up, but I would say I'm about 90% done. Um,
Mhm.
I like learned a lot from the first time because Hate Spree 2 physical was like a fucking nightmare. I think you saw. I was like trying to do shit, trying to make the book, trying to understand where the fuck everything was coming from. So this time I made sure that I got pretty much, unless something drastic changes and I'm gone insane. The manuscript is done for both the ebook and the physical. So now I'm just on the cover, and the last blurb just came in. So we're gonna be making the cover probably Monday, and then oh well, now they'll know when we record shit. It's not, but yeah. So we obviously record things in advance, but probably Monday I'll get back on the cover, and then that's the physical, and then I'm gonna send it to myself, check that everything's good, and it should be ready to publish after that. I have to like, I obviously have to double check the manuscript. I have like, I'm gonna be honest, I have really bad OCD. I don't know if you have
Mhm.
this,
I
but like
do.
whenever I like check my manuscript, I'm like, oh, let me just check it one more time, make sure that I didn't miss anything, because people are gonna pay for this, and I don't want to waste their money. So,
Mhm.
but that's where
and
we are
and
now,
you'll stumble upon one little thing and you go, "Oh fuck!" I
bro.
got, I gotta
Dude, at
do
this point,
all
I
of
have to check it, and I have to like look away because I'm like, I don't want to see something that I correct because I can't change the manuscript again.
it. Hmm.
Like,
Yeah,
I can't tell you how many times like I've changed it, like the physical for HP 2 like 3 times after I published it. It's insane.
dude. Yeah, that was some of the main issue with Hate Spree 2, right? It was just it,
Yeah,
it was just that was just such a nightmare trying trying to figure all of that out. Oh wait, okay. So I thought you had the cover done for Hate Spree 1. Do you just mean like you gotta add the extra quote on it, or
Yeah, I have to add the
okay?
extra code. That's it.
So it's mostly good to go.
Yeah, it's
Okay, because
99%
that shit
done.
is sick. It looks so cool.
All right, thanks, bro.
How long is that one? It's like half the size, right?
Yeah, it's only 197 pages.
Okay. Yeah,
So
that's what I was thinking. That is so funny that you're like, well, two's better, so let's drop two first.
yeah, I mean, it makes sense. You know, I don't even know if I'm gonna advertise one that much. One is just gonna be for the homies who like get it. You know, um,
hmm
and it's also, we talk about spoilers. Like this is the book where like you're gonna get the N word, and it's gonna be one letter each page. Like I'm so excited to kind of see that in physical form. You know.
Yeah, dude. I think we were talking about this with Phil, but it's like that has to be done. Like that
Yeah.
has to exist in the world physically. Like just the very the idea of it, the transgression in it being a physical object that exists in reality, the fact that each word will spell out
Yeah.
the greatest word of all time.
I'm surprised. I'm still shocked that nobody else has kind of done that yet. Like nobody
Yeah,
has
me
thought to
too.
do. Like I feel like it would be like the first thing that you would want to do. Like if you were getting into like that's why it was in my first book. I was like everybody wants to do this, duh. But apparently not.
No, we needed, and no one's truly a troll, I guess, at heart, except for you. You're the
Yeah.
one. The world was waiting on the true troll, the one
Yeah.
who would really, be willing to put their balls on the line, and
Yeah.
or tie their balls to their leg, whatever.
Yeah. But no, there's
Yeah,
also
hell yeah, dude.
cool changes in not changes, but I think the physical, because the ebook you can't really, because since there's no numbering on the ebook, you can't really do like cool formatting things as much. But like in this new version for the Hate Spree 1 physical, so there's prologues, right?
Right.
And then there's like the main book. So I've separated out the section that like the prologues are all like Roman numerals, and then all the text pages are like the actual normal numbering. So we've kind of changed
Okay.
things up on. It'll be cool, yeah. So
So you were saying that you did some slight formatting changes to Hate Spree 2 for the physical. Is that kind of what you were talking about? Is that
mm,
what you were meaning, that you changed around some like some simple things like that?
yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, mostly it was because of the copyright. So I've learned because I was doing the Hate Spree 1. And I was like checking it. I was like, which day it was published, and I was like, oh, it's a bit before. And I was like, wait a second, like, is the copyright for Hate Spree 2 2025 or 2024? And and then I was googling it, and it's like, oh, you should. I mean, from what I understand, it's like technically the copyright should only be for like the latest one, which is like 2025 because it's like the latest. But usually the copyright for the actual work is when the work was produced. So that would be 2024. So I had to
Okay.
add 2024 comma space 2025 copyright as I don't know this legal shit. I don't want to get fucked over by some dude. And he's like, "Oh, you didn't put 2024. Or what? Are you trying to like get one more extra year in your copyright when it should be 2000?" I'm like, bro, I don't know. Okay, I just
That is funny. I wonder
yeah.
how that'll affect your Goodreads, because every time you upload, or when you upload a book, or like if you go back and like do like a little minor touch to it or something, it like re-uploads like the new touched up copy onto Goodreads as its own separate thing that can be reviewed and edited, or reviewed and like starred and stuff like that.
Are you fucking
So there are
serious?
two. Yeah, dude. If you go to Goodreads, there are two copies of It's Free too. There's the initial one that I think we all starred and reviewed or whatever when it first dropped, but then I think you went back and tweaked it a little bit, and then it dropped again. So, and you know, most people will see that and they'll just ignore that one and click on the one that has, you know, it's where the reviews and the stars are. But
I
that
thought
that is
it.
something that I noticed.
I thought it was that just separate versions. So they're like the two versions are the physical and the ebook. That's what I thought.
I don't think it's that because I think
Because I will say this, I've updated the ebook like 6 times. So 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 there should be like 6 versions of the ebook. I don't know. Oh my
I don't.
goodness.
Yeah, no, because both say paperback. Oh wait, no, one does say Kindle. But that's strange because that's the first one that dropped, so that should say paperback, I feel like. That one said August 17th,
Well, I think
and
my
then this one
ebook
said
was probably
January 20th.
published before my paperback because I had to wait for my paperback. Or
Does January 20th, 2024 sound right for the ebook?
okay, so that's what I'm talking about. So when Amazon asked me like when was it originally published, that was when it came onto Substack, which was January 20th, 2024. Um,
Okay. Funny enough, that says the paperback version.
this is what I'm talking about, bro. Like Amazon. So
Yeah.
on the ebook
It's all
version,
fucked.
they yeah. So have you actually formatted for KDP?
Not yet. I keep saying I'm gonna talk to Cody about that, but I still have not. I still haven't done that. No.
Okay, so there's different questions. So this is gonna sound I don't know why, but in the ebook version, they don't ask when it was first published. So I'm guessing that's
Okay.
why it said that it was published 2025 August. But in the paperback, they ask when was it first published. So they're probably pulling from that for the paperback. So
Okay.
it's just different things for like different formats. I don't know.
So confusing.
Dude, it's a fucking nightmare. And then I think I told you like the other day I was like freaking out because like the prices weren't coming up for my ebook and I'm like, did I do
Yeah, yeah.
something wrong? It's like and it's crazy to and I can't tell you how many rabbit holes I went down because like I was uploading a new manuscript and if you read like the Google fine print, it's like yeah, so like ebook like depending on the size, it might be like they like pay a delivery fee if you're using the 70% option. So I was like, "Oh, is my file too big? Did I change the file size in between?" And it's like, "No, it was actually just their servers." And I was like up until like 6 a.m. like freaking out over this shit when it was just them.
Wow. Yeah, because yeah, I saw your message, and then I saw you had like figured out the problem, but I still didn't quite understand like what even really was going on. It seemed very kind of confusing. Um.
It was just that so they were doing maintenance basically, and so when you do maintenance, you probably have to shut the servers down to like do maintenance. And because the servers were shut down in the US, like they weren't showing the pricing. So it was acting like I wasn't going to get pricing, but it was just that the servers weren't giving feedback because they were shut down. And then once maintenance was
Okay.
done and the servers went back up, US was finally like, "Oh, here's your price." I'm like, "Oh, okay, that's all it was." Stupid shit.
Wow. Yeah. What a fucking hassle.
Which it'd be nice if you could tell me when you guys are doing maintenance. That would really help.
I wouldn't have a mini aneurysm trying to figure out these fucking numbers.
Yeah. So is because I was scared that it was just like, am I updating my ebook too much? Like, is there AI think I'm spamming them or some shit?
Hmm.
So I'll tell you this:
Man.
publishing your own, you're lucky because like Cody publishes your book. If you start doing it
Yeah.
yourself, like you're like, how many typos do I have? How many? And it's just nerve wracking.
Yeah. Right now, it's like there's like I could someone could read Soap Scum and be like, this is so lazy, this is so sloppy, this guy doesn't
Yeah.
there's just like a lot of things that I didn't choose to correct because I liked the uninhibited flow of it and like the intuitive use of like randomly wanting a period in places and then also never wanting it in some places. And so I feel like if I was self-publishing, I would be going through some anal turmoil, some inner anal turmoil where I'm just contemplating like, all right, do I put periods throughout the whole book? Do I, do I take them out from the whole book? What do I do? And just like, really getting lost on thought loops like that because I would just probably overthink the fuck out of it. But yeah, me having Cody, I can just be like, this is how I feel it is. Like this is just like an unfiltered me, does it work? And he goes, yes. And then we're going, all right, great. Let's publish it, and
Yeah.
it's just like if I want those typos or if I want grammatical mistakes in there, it's like it's up to me. It's like he's okay with however I want that to look. So but I do feel like if I was self-publishing it myself, I would be going through all that turmoil.
No, because that's exactly what happened. I think I remember like I told you guys like I did the Hate Spree 2 manuscript and I was like 90% done. And then I noticed that some quotation marks when I bold, like I'll have sections where I bold obviously, right? And then sometimes the bold would be in the quotation marks and sometimes it wouldn't. And I was like,
Right.
"Oh, I have to fix this." So I like replaced all of the what is it? All the bolded quotations. I decided not to do it, but I must have misclicked something because then it fucked all the formatting, and then I lost like an hour's work of
Oh
like my
my
manuscript.
god.
So I had to like because I should have just saved it before doing that, and I would have like I just it would have been easy reload the old save, and then I would have. But then like I didn't, so I had to like recheck all the past work that I did for the past hour to make sure it was in both the ebook and the physical. I hadn't lost anything, and I was just like I was losing my mind.
Dude,
Always
that
save, never don't save.
that reminds me of something very traumatizing that happened to me. I was I think I was either a sophomore or a junior in high school, and I wrote a short story collection. And it's probably fucking garbage, but I wrote it and I was very proud of it. And I spent like one afternoon. I spent like it must have been like 7 or 8 hours. I'm telling you, I spent a gigantic, almost like my entire day, going through the entire book and fixing the fuck out of it and adding just like so much extra shit, just really like bulking it up and fleshing out everything that I felt like really needed to be expanded on and all this stuff. And my fucking computer crashes.
Holy fuck!
And dude, and it was one of those where it's just like auto saved sometimes. So
Mm.
I'm like praying to fucking God that there is some recent autosave. But it's of course, the one day that I spent all this time doing it, it did not autosave once. In my whole fucking world crumbled. I was just like, oh, what's the point now? I literally I just like, oh, I guess I'm done with this. I was so completely defeated that I had lost all that work that I just gave up on the book right there. I was like, I'm done. Fuck my life.
Yeah,
So it's kind of remarkable that years later I'm like, no, I'm gonna do it again, and I'm gonna do it right this time.
yeah. Let's go. Are you actually remaking it? It's gonna happen.
No, just the fact that I got Soap Scum finished, and
Oh, okay.
that was like me, my vengeance, my reclaiming, my legacy or something. Um,
Yeah, but that's yeah,
yeah.
those are definitely teaching moments because like after this, like I'm saving the fuck out of like any big change, anything that I haven't tried before. Say and it's these things that you learn like the even simple things because I thought like you could just do the cover and then it would be simple, but it doesn't work like that. You have to get all the pages in first and then you calculate the cover. So I made like 3 covers for Hate Spree 2 that I couldn't use because they were the wrong dimensions.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wait. So you weren't able to find out what the dimensions were beforehand, or?
Yeah, so I knew it was 6 by 9, and I put it in, right, and it's like,
Hmm.
oh, it's this many pages, and then um I mean, it's not like I have to rework the whole thing, but it's just like the spine changes, and be if you like, and then I like redid the book, and then because I had like 1 page less, literally 1 page less, and you have to recalculate it again because it's a different page number, and so the spine changes, and so you're not really changing the cover, but you have to like swap it into the new template, and it's just like a pain in the ass.
God
So
damn.
so if you ever, I mean, Cody probably knows this, but if you ever do it yourself, it's like you have to get your manuscript in just right first. It's going to save you a lot of time, and then calculate the cover, because then you'll know what size your spine should be. Um,
Okay.
I wish it didn't work like that though. I wish it had a system where like you know your 6 by 9, and then you make the front cover and the back cover, and then like they'll calculate the spine, and then they'll like stitch it in. Like just have a separate spine system, which I feel like would be so much better. But
And I'm
I don't
I'm
know waiting for
wondering
Amazon.
I'm wondering if some of the misaligned spines that you see from our scene are because uh some of us just do not know how to fucking get the hang of this, or if it's just bad printing because my copy I got of your book,
Yo,
it's slightly cut off the like the first letters on the back or something like that, but then Cap got a copy and his was totally fine. So it's like I'm definitely it makes you wonder when you see like little tiny errors like that if it was like some miscommunication with like the author not understanding quite the formatting process, or if it's just like shitty fucking KDP.
I think it's 90% KDP. Like mine came in, it's like off center a little bit. And
Hmm.
that's the price you pay for like the McDonald's of publishing, basically.
Right.
So it is what it is. But yours, I feel like you could actually return for like what is it? Defection, because yours is really bad. Like yours, just, and that's why I was freaking out trying to change the cover. I'm like, what the fuck did you like? Because it's crazy too. Because like, if Cap had given me his cover first, I'd been, oh, okay, everything's good. Like I don't have to freak out. You gave your cover back, and it was the first one I thought it was completely fucked up. Where I'm like, did I fuck up the cover? Am I not reading this template correctly? What the fuck is going on? But
And I didn't mean to panic you, but I was
yeah,
like, he's got to know. Like, he's at least got to know that, something may be amiss, something may be fucked here. Um, yeah,
yeah,
I'm
no,
glad
yeah.
I'm glad it all got situated though.
Yeah, that was all Amazon, bro. Like, I'm surprised that even I don't know if that the printers in like I don't know Detroit or some shit are like horrible, but that visibly disgusted me. I was like, I put it within your template, and you cut into the template, bro. Like this is not acceptable. And then
Oh,
I have a second copy with like an indented, it looks worse, it looks way worse, but
really?
I reduced, yeah, I made a test copy where I reduced the size so that if it cut off and made a mistake, it would still be okay. But I was like, I shouldn't be formatting for like mistakes, so I just reverted it back to its full length. And yeah, hopefully eventually you'll get a version that isn't like fucked up or some shit. I don't know.
Yeah, because I Allie's like, where's my signed copy? I know this guy. Where's my copy? So I gotta buy another copy and send
Yeah,
it your way so that you can sign it and then send it back to me.
yeah, yeah. We'll get that done eventually, and I gotta do that for
Yeah.
Soap Scum too. Gotta get a signed copy. That's in the bag.
Yeah, I know. I was kind of kicking myself. I didn't bring it with me when we hung out. But part of me was just like, is it gay and self-serving to bring him a copy of my book signed? Like,
Yeah,
part of me was like, just do it. Who cares? But yeah, part of me couldn't help but be like, no, this is your first time meeting him. Just just chill on that. So,
yeah,
but that'll definitely happen. I mean, I could even send it when I send the hate spree to get signed. I can just send you Soap Scum signed so you could just have it.
That's
Um,
true. I mean, I was considering getting my own copy, but yeah, if
yeah,
we
I
could
mean, what?
paperback,
Yeah, whatever. We'll
we'll
just do it.
figure it out. We'll get something done.
I'll
But
get the money somehow. The money
yeah,
will end up in my pocket somehow.
yeah, cause
It.
like, bro, like if you're buying, like, I still haven't. This is gonna be like extreme, like, self shame hour. Like you're buying two copies of Hate Spree, trying to get it signed, and like trying to give me a third like soap scum. Like I still haven't bought the soap scum paperback because I'm such a fucking like
Well, dude, I mean,
minimalist.
you're a minimalist. You didn't even have like books until we started hanging out.
Yeah.
Like I don't blame you for not having a library or anything. So yeah, don't even worry about it. We're getting shit figured out. So
I actually didn't have yeah, like I don't have a physical copy of Phil Roth's book. Or did I get an ebook of Harassment Architecture? I only like the only time I have books physically is when it's the only option. Like
okay,
I know I have like one
maybe it's good
shitty
I kept
paperback.
mine without a KDP. Then it
Yeah,
forces people to buy it so they can figure out what's inside.
yeah, like Harassment Architecture only has a paperback. Like if there was an ebook, I would have bought the ebook version. Like there's no
Mhm.
but
Did you read the digital of Gothic Violence?
oh, is there a digital gothic violence?
I'm
No,
not
there's no
too sure.
digital.
I,
There's
I
no
just
digital
assumed there
gothic violence. This guy, he's forcing people to build a library of his shit.
Did you not read Gothic Violence?
No, I haven't read Gothic Violence because I heard it
Okay.
was worse. You told me it was better, but like 90% of people have told me it's worse, and I just haven't gotten around to it.
I thought it was better. I mean, it's like harassment architecture is so fucking iconic, and there's
Yeah,
so many lines that just stick with me forever. They're just so good. Um, but Gothic Violence and you know, harassment architecture is mostly sporadic. Um, it's like almost no narrative until the ending, which is then like, here's my mass plan in execution. Whereas Gothic Violence is full of little bits of plot that are connective. So there's a lot more structure in that sort of way. It's more of like it's definitely more of a marriage between the two styles that he was going for in harassment architecture. It's more concrete narrative mixed with the um mixed with the theology and stuff like that.
is there an
Um
ebook version of Gothic Violence?
is there? Are you on Amazon right now?
Yeah, I can't. There's only a paperback though. Like mom,
It looks so fucking sick though. That's like
yeah,
one of
it's
my
a good
favorite
cover.
covers, honestly. Both of those books. Dude, the cover for Harassment Architecture, that might be like the coolest book cover ever made, dude. I don't even know.
Yeah, it's really cool. It's really good.
Yeah.
I'm surprised he like like he draws all of this himself. That's kind of crazy because like not a lot of
Does
people
he?
of our guys do art. I know he does the
Yeah.
graphic design for sure.
Oh,
I
that
mean
is right.
obviously he
Yeah,
doesn't do
he
the
that's
paintings on
good.
the back, but
Right. But it is he definitely cares about it as like almost like a visual experience. Yeah. Like we
yeah,
talk about it all the time. The books as art objects definitely extends itself to that for sure. Those books are so gorgeous to have just sitting on your shelf and looking at. And
yeah.
I when I lived with my lefty roommates, I was even so bold to be like, "Isn't this the coolest fucking cover you've ever seen?" And he's like, "Holy shit!" He's like, "What is that?" And I'm like, "You don't want to read it."
Ah, damn. Yeah, I
Just
mean
like
it's
looking
it's
at the
really good.
back. And, yeah, dude. Man, I feel like there's quite a few pretty great like visual pieces of art and novels in our scene. Uh, you definitely add to the echelon of that. Behead All Satans. Some really stunning artwork out there.
Yeah, I mean even if we don't like make it ourselves. Like I know, like Ogden was talking about, yeah, like the painting, like just the way the things are placed, the placement of things, I think still exudes a lot of energy, and I think that shit's cool. Like our scene definitely, I don't know. I think we just do have cooler colors than everybody else.
I agree. There's like, especially for the self-publishing world, there you obviously we run across some pretty like generic looking shit, but
Yeah,
it seems like for the books that are very like personality driven, almost auteur driven, they are all very unique to look at and express um definitely the sensibilities of the author who made it, for sure. You it just feels like
yeah.
so much creativity and artistic output from from small corners.
Yeah, no, like if you look at like mainstream books, like I don't know, like fucking Colleen Hoover shit, like I think I've said, like it's just like flowers. I've never understood like the fucking graphic design of like mainstream publishers, bro. They just looks fucking. Do people really just read plain book like cover title and that's what they do?
Dude, I guess so, because I go to Barnes and Noble sometimes and I see I see girls holding those book covers, and I mean, even guys holding generic book covers. It's just like there's just nothing about those that scream at me that I need to look at it right now. That there's something engaging and pressing about it that is like visually striking, or
Yeah,
just like tickles me in some way where I feel like I need to read this fucking book. And I feel like that's you know besides me kind of like being a lurker in our scene and just like discovering books that way, it was really like seeing like how beautiful and artistic some of these covers were that made me go, oh, I gotta read this fucking now. Like Mixtape Hyperborea, when I saw the ads for
yeah.
that, and
That's a great
you're
cover.
like,
Yeah,
God, yeah, dude, you are gobsmacked by the imagery of that book, and you go, oh, I need to know, I need to know all about this book. What is it? What is inside it? Um, so I feel like, yeah, we definitely I think that's an important thing that we need to be offering from our circle, sort of.
yeah, for sure. And I just sent you the cover that I was looking at for Colleen Hoover. It's just like I mean I can appreciate some of it. They're obviously doing some stuff, but it's just like letters, and this is a romance
So,
novel. Why is there birds? Like I don't know, bro.
just so everyone can kind of know what we're looking at the cover of the book Reminders of Him, a
Yeah,
novel by Colleen Hoover, and it is a generic image of a sky. There seems to be images of pigeons or just
yeah.
generic cutouts of birds. It's like the most unappealing fucking image I've ever seen. It's
It's
just
just
like
words.
it's just so terrible. Like the colors don't even do anything for me. There's nothing. Yeah, it's just not engaging at all. And it's almost like they have to create a line of something that's so generic that it could possibly appeal to as many people as possible.
I think you're
Um,
right. I think you're right.
which is just like I vehemently disagree with that completely. I think
Yeah,
that the more specific you are to your sensibilities and your personalities, the more universal the potential it has. It's just like if you nail something that is so specific to the human experience, something like something like picking your nose and eating your boogers or something like that. It's like that's not going to be in a generic Colleen Hoover novel. But if you read that, everybody in the whole fucking world has that private, intimate understanding of that nuanced moment. And that makes it more
yeah.
universal than something generic.
Nah, I totally agree, bro. It's just like, I mean, I'm okay with actually the colors. It has a nice palette, but like everything else you said, like, but as you said, they pick colors probably that are like pleasant to everybody. They didn't pick harsh colors or colors that you know, like send an identity. Because as you said, it's kind of formless. It's kind of like oatmeal in a sense. Um, because you mentioned font, and I just want to say, like personally for me, I really do like. I think Soap Scum has like the best font because I maybe not the green part. The green part looks kind of drawn, which is kind of fine. But I really love like the pink, the pink kind of
Hmm.
earthy looking font. That looks so sick. And I don't think I've ever anybody else has kind of done that in our scene. You know?
Yeah, I love those bubble letters, and
Yeah.
I was tempted to even make just the whole title in those bubble letters, but I do kind of like the weird cartoonish green slime like look of the word
Yeah.
scum. It kind of reminds me of that old show Doug, that that cartoon Doug. So I don't know. There, it's
It's
like
it's
I
got good
do like I
contrast.
strangely like the contrast,
Yeah, the contrast is great. Um,
but
I'm
those
just
bubbles, yeah,
yeah,
are so evocative.
I'm just like kind of a stickler for and even this is like true of my own work where I feel like you can kind of tell that it's hand drawn a bit too much. I don't know. That's just me.
I definitely don't think that about the well. I guess it's hard, I guess, to kind of make that comparison with the 3D shit because
Yeah.
the 3D models just look like these like products, like these perfectly formed, three-dimensional products.
Yeah.
Um,
And I will say like
yeah.
this is extremely nitpicky shit from like somebody who's always finding faults and everything because I'll look at
Mhm.
my own cover and I'm like this like these four it's nice, it's okay, but like the rendering isn't on the level of like a top tier artist from ArtStation. I'm gonna call like my art mid. Like I just am running through like when I know it's pretty good, but I'm like, but it could be better. And honestly, your drawings aren't that great, bro. So I'm always
I
just.
disagree. I think that I think they're pretty fucking stellar, and I like how intense and graphic they are. Um,
I think you're right on like the intensity of the formatting. I think that's all great. It's just like just little things like how things are like rendered. It's like some of my materials don't look super realistic or like the skin and stuff like that. And I'm just like, oh well, I just saw that. This is all art nerd shit. Like if you're not an artist, and like that's just a bit just like it's just nerd shit that like only people like me care about. Whereas like normal people, they'll look at the soap scum cover and be like, "Yo, that's sick," or like the HP cover, like, "Yo, that's drawn really well," you know?
but in the back of your head, you're like, that
Yeah,
is nice. However,
yeah.
this
I
one
mean,
this one thing nagging at me.
it's probably like you for writing, you know? Like you'll look at your work and you'll be like, you only see the mistakes and it's just like, oh man. But like normal people like are like, yo, this is so awesome.
Yeah, dude, because I'll send you stuff, or I'll just be thinking like, oh man, I wonder what he thinks of this one specific part that has been nagging at me or driving me crazy, and it's like you might not even notice it or mention it or anything. It just like goes undetected, and I feel like, oh, I got away with it. Like, oh, sweet, great. It
Yeah.
either wasn't as bad as I thought it was, or like, yeah, I guess that's probably the takeaway, is that whatever is distracting to me is probably not nearly as distracting as I think it is to anybody else.
Well, I think also kind of the other problem is like we build amalgamations in our head of like we think of like all the greatest stuff that we ever love and then like we like meld it together into this like perfect object that doesn't exist. But if you think about like all your favorite like books or stories or games, movies, they all have an issue with them. There's probably something you could pick out that's like wrong, you know?
Hmm.
But but in our head I'm like comparing hate spree to like the cover of hate spree to like this perfect version of a book that even if it was drawn by a person who like was a better illustrator it wouldn't have the same like number one like aggressive art style, right?
Yeah.
So if they would lose that, then like what's the point of having a better illustration? And then it kind of loops back and then I'd be like, yeah, I like the illustration, but it's not really saying anything politically. I don't really like it. So it's just like some vicious circle of like criticism.
Right. Like, because all the little things that you can't account for are definitely what makes it what it is, and what gives it
Yeah.
the personality, the rounded edges and corners that that make up the thing that you can't even quite determine or what make it up actually.
Yeah.
So yeah, if there were even a better artist to like go over that work, it would lose some ineffable quality that is so specific that is felt. It's like you can feel you can feel a person's thumb, you can feel a person's guiding hand behind work that is slightly imperfect, and I think that just draws you closer to the work, or at least it does for me. Like I like to feel uh, sort of connected to the artist, like I'm learning about them
Yeah.
and I'm feeling who this person is, which is why I just hate generic smoothed over rounded products that just try to appeal to everybody, because you,
Yeah.
you, you just lose that, you just lose any sort of connection uh, to another way of thinking, and that extends to the divine and everything else. But
Yeah,
yeah.
you're right. No, cause like, I mean, like just from like my mind. I mean, number one, like, I mean, I know I just criticized it, but like, yeah, now that you've explained it that way, it's like, yeah, I can see like the humanity in the green of the soap scum font. Like it does work, and I also like the fact that
Yeah.
it does connect with the AI too, because like it has the image of like the monster, and like that hand drawnness does connect to the monster, which I think is really cool. So it's like you know it embraces everything. And I know this is why I say like criticism, like you should never listen to anything that I say, because I'm just gonna end up being like, no, actually it should have been that way in the first place. You guys did it right the first time.
Well, no, I like hearing
Yeah.
your opinions because you do have an interesting way of perceiving things, and uh and how will it gives me a good idea of how I want my work to be perceived. And I also like that you always give me the kind of that caveat of like, look, you do not have to listen to me at all,
Yeah.
but here's what I'm thinking. And it's never like some reductive sort of bit of advice or something. It's always something that I'm always like, no, that's a great point. Actually, I'm glad you brought that up, because and it makes me think about my work and what I'm doing. And it's kind of funny that you you kind of have slightly different feelings about the Soap Scum review, but it was so it really made me look at myself and how I write, and what I want to achieve with my own art. So
No.
it was nice to get that perspective.
No, it's good to get everybody's perspective, and I always value your feedback too whenever you give it to me, and it's just like, and I I just say that a lot because it's just happened a lot to me, where people have like given advice, and it sounds good, and I'm like, yeah, yeah, what they're saying is right, and then I try it, and then like it doesn't work, like fuck, man, like they were wrong, and it's just like I feel like, again, I probably said this before, 90% of criticism is irrelevant. There's 10% that you actually have to listen to. But I would say 90% of it is like irrelevant, maybe somebody's opinion, or you just don't even need to listen to it because it would like kill what you do. But like 10% is there's 10% where like your person says something, you're like, yeah, that's actually right. Like
Right.
you know. But it's
That you
it's so
couldn't,
few.
that you
Yeah.
weren't able to see somehow. Yeah.
Yeah. But most of the time I would just ignore a lot of what other people say, because other people's opinions are just like how they see art, and you're trying to create your art, and how
Exactly.
yeah.
They're not in your brain. They're not the one trying to wrestle with the material. It's all from a very intuitive place. This divine connection between you and the outpour you're creating. It's like, to include other people is such a finicky uh, element to the process, where it's like you definitely got to be careful, because the wrong advice will completely ruin your intuition,
Yeah.
and guide you to a place of confusion, as opposed to where you felt very clear in your head. You felt like, look, it may not be perfect, but I have this goal in mind, and Yeah, sometimes only you really know how to achieve that. And
Yeah.
yeah, we've definitely had that conversation before.
And this
you,
is
yeah,
kind of random, not random, but like this is also why I don't take like writing communities that seriously in the sense that I feel like there's too many opinions. Like if you get more than like even three, there, there starts to become like some soup, too many cooks in the kitchen. People start giving like superfluous advice, and like everybody like wants you to change like 15 things about your shit. I feel like that's always bad. Like whenever I ask people for feedback, it's just like two or three people, just like a very core. Because I feel like that's the best way to do things. Too
yeah.
many people is like, and I feel like nobody has like has anybody like I guess some people have gone out of the writing community, but I feel like a lot of the writers that are prolific, they don't really hang around the writing community. They're usually writing.
Right. They all kind of like started out when they were younger being part of like writer circles, and then they, evolved past them or whatever.
Yeah, yeah. People's advice, bro. I don't know.
Yeah. Um, man, I forgot what I was about to say. I feel like I had a pretty good point. Fuck.
Well, it's just about the
uh,
blandness of people, and well,
yeah, fuck.
there was one thing I want to talk about. I mean, it's just like you don't keep up with video games, do you?
No, only when something really ludicrous happens, and then it makes big news.
Yeah.
Like
Okay.
when they're including random SJW token characters and shit.
Yeah. So well, it's just big in the video game world right now. There's a new Wolverine game coming out, and
Okay.
I'll explain like what it like. So like and like to me it looks pretty bland. All right. It's just the art
Mhm.
design is just kind of like MCU. They got like some side shave bitches. It just looks kind of retarded. Um, but there's a lot of blood and violence, and so
Mhm.
everybody loves it. Like I guess I've kind of bitched about it before, but I really think that like the most common denominator people are fucking useless. I think their taste is horrible. Like and that like goes with the Colleen Hoover shit, where like none of these people are really discerning in their taste, and I feel like trying to write to market, which a lot of people tell you to do, would makes you just write the most boring shit. I mean, I think I posted this to you back. Like some book was selling. It was called Harem Level Up or Level Up Harem, and this is like
Yeah,
selling a
yeah, I saw
hundred
that.
copies. Like, what the fuck is this shit, bro? Like, who is buying this? Why should I take the public opinion seriously?
Yeah, dude. And even things that used to be transgressive, like extreme violence, is just not anymore, and it's
Mm,
something that has become like marvelized. It's become like fanboyized. It's
yeah,
like even excessive gore is like pretty safe, to some
yeah,
degree now, and is for fucking nerds. And like actual, raw representations of like sexuality is something that everyone's actually afraid of. No one Everyone wants to see heads get caved in, but no one wants to see like an intimate sex act between
yeah.
two people.
Yeah,
So it's
it's like that show. You've probably seen it, like Invincible. Like that's the one, the meme
yeah, yeah,
where
yeah, it's like the most gory, over the top shit.
and it's very Reddit coded where you're like, yeah, there's so much blood, but like I don't think I've seen a single tit in that show or whatever.
Right, and the main character is like dating this really obnoxious black chick who's smarter than him and talks down to him the whole time, and he's actually just kind of a pussy. Uh,
Yeah,
so it's like, oh, yeah, yeah, no, we're like super edgy, transgressive. We do like all this like really hard edge shit. However, we do align with all of the with all
yeah,
the current state politics, and we don't show anything that's going to offend the sensibilities of anyone who's fucking it's just like, and plus that show looks like it was animated by the people who did Ben 10, so
yeah,
it's not trying. in some ways what we're talking about, that like even for it looking like it's so hard edge, is actually the most generic crowd pleasing sort of thing.
Predators like killed ultraviolence. They kind of did.
Dude, they did. They
They really,
murdered
yeah.
death. Because you know, back in the early 2000s, uh you know, anything with extreme violence that was taken seriously um was like profound, and it was like profoundly shocking. And
Yeah.
people would make lists. They'd be like, you know, top 10 most extreme, you know, horror movies, or like the most extreme fucked up scenes ever, and like all this shit. But that's just like gone with the wind. It's all it's all like the norm now, because now they take those acts, those transgressive acts, and they delineate them and reduce them of all of their actual power and shock value, to make it, you know, normified for everybody, so that, you know, your fucking grandma can watch it and not get upset.
No, and it's kind of like the same thing with like, what is it? Like you've heard the term like safe horny, right?
Yeah,
Yeah. That's like the
yeah,
redditization of like sexuality where you're like, oh, muscle mommies, and like there's nothing really inherently wrong, but there's just like a certain way they do it where it's non-appealing at all.
yeah, dude. And this is extended into oh god, there's a there's like this new invented HR role on movie sets now. It's intimacy coordinators. So some fucking frizzy mulatto haired bitch shows up, and she says, you can't actually shoot the sex scene you have in your brain, you know, your artistic will, you can't do that, because, you know, it'll make this person uncomfortable. Actually, what you have to do is, you know, you know, make it so they're very blandly doing this. You know, she can't suck his dick. He can only perform oral on her, because that means that she's in a position of power. You know, just like politicizing the fuck out of sex to the point where it's not even real anymore. Um, it's just like no one can be confronted by the reality of things. Everything is just generic and blandified.
No, and this is gonna go into crazy territory. It's gonna sound insane. Maybe it's just me, but like that's exactly, yeah. I've been thinking about like porn, where it kind of feels like OnlyFans like has kind of ruined porn. Where like it's only like safe girls like dancing in their fucking, there's no like raw like fucking, and it was never really raw. It's like it's all actors
Hmm.
and sets, you know what I'm saying? But you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like because of the power is all in the hands of the female, and I was just like, oh, mommy's gonna suck your toes or some safe shit, and it's like I don't know, I don't really feel the viscerality in this.
Yeah, and I don't think girls like having all that power either. It seems like
Yeah,
it's actually kind of kind of counterintuitive to their nature to be OnlyFans slut.
yeah,
um,
they need to be exploited by directors. No, but just like if you think about it,
what
like
is a real porn?
unironically, movies were probably better when Weinstein was abusing women, like in a weird way. And I'm not saying what he was
Oh,
doing
I
was good,
agree.
but you know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
yeah, completely. Because there was like an honest transactional relationship
Yeah,
between men and women. It's a man who has the power to grant you the fucking Wizard of Oz wish that you've always wanted, and all you have to do is fuck him for 20 minutes. Like,
yeah,
and just like, but being able to turn that into a scandal where actually everyone who became, you know, the gods and goddesses of the modern era are now actually fucking victims after the fact that they've, like, you know, claimed their legacies. I don't know.
that's
It's
true.
like it's ruined sex, it's ruined celebrity, it's killed it's killed death. It's all, you know, it's
Yeah,
all fucked.
yeah, like there's intimacy like casters now. Like, have the intimacy scenes gotten better? I don't think they have. If
No,
anything,
dude.
if anything, they've
Um,
gotten worse.
yeah, dude. There. it's funny. There's a show that got a lot of shit. It's called The Idol. It's like a 6 episode miniseries or whatever, and it just got a lot of shit um because some of it's based politics and some of it's based takes. But literally,
Mm,
the opening scene of the show is the intimacy coordinator trying to tell this girl, like this super hot chick, like what she can and can't do with her body, like what she can show and what she can't show, and everyone just getting so fed up that they lock this dude in the closet. They're like, can someone just get rid of this fucking nuisance, this person who is literally like holding up the progress of true art and true expression? It's like
yeah.
these are the enemies of society. they're creating the most bland, generic fucking art imaginable, and it's like creating this top down effect.
No, you're right. And that's like, again, that's kind of the problem with, I guess, some of the more like mainstream right wing people, where maybe it's not intimacy like guys, but like just just the certain rules of like you can't do this, you can't do that, and all that
Mm-hmm.
crazy nonsense. And everybody makes the rules when it's just like you should just get out of the way and let people like make truly cool shit. But I don't know. That's not that's not the way
Yeah,
it
that's
rolls now.
definitely. I was just saying, yeah, that's definitely a big thing in our scene. Is is there is sort of a dogmatic, uh, sort of intellectual approach to what you can and can't present and stuff like that. And I've obviously
Yeah.
never abided by that or really given a shit about that.
So yeah, man. I don't know. Art is going places. It's weird. But
Yeah, I feel like mostly, it's an interesting state because you'll find stuff that comes out that makes you think things are progressing in a positive direction, and then you'll see something that really kills your spirit. So it's kind of a give and take, but I think I'm mostly positive.
yeah, I think as we said before, like all this intimacy or whatever, it's kind of receding. And what is it? Like I feel a lot more positive. Like I think Libertine dissolves. Like that guy said he's like going more hardcore. You're going more hardcore, and that's like gaining a bit more traction. All the other guys in the
Mhm.
scene that are like pushing the envelope. It's cool to see. A lot of the older stuff I think is kind of fading away and not not getting anywhere. I think it's
Yeah,
only up. We're mostly talking about shit from the past, like what Invincible came out a couple years ago or something.
right. But
So
yeah, because there are still examples of it, but we are also sort of making way for interesting voices that are very singular and
yeah,
have very specific visions.
not the slop, never the slop.
Down with the Slop Kings.
Yeah. Well, no, but I love Slop Kings though. Like I'm still waiting for
No, I do too.
their Star Wars prequel debate. I'm like with bated breath. When is it gonna drop, Tukey? When is it?
It's so funny hearing Gabe like
Mm,
recite like the Polya argument over the lava fight and
yeah.
just trying desperately to convince David that these movies are actually worthwhile. You're just
We
not hearing any of
we
it.
had, we did it in the Battle of the Bitches episode. We both agreed the prequels were like dope, right? Or
Yeah, I mean,
okay,
like
okay.
I know they're not like perfect movies, but I do hold uh a resonance for him. And David will shit on me for saying that. Yeah, I grew up with them, so it's
Yeah.
like they do hold a special place in my heart. And I did not like, obviously, episode 7 onward. I didn't really keep up with this
Those don't
shit
count.
anymore. Right, so I just like it's not like I even return to Star Wars that often because I'm not like a gigantic Star Wars guy or
Yeah.
anything. But I definitely can look back and be like, okay, well, those movies were at least made by like a really interesting autistic guy, and who just like had free reign to do whatever the fuck he wanted, and and these new ones are kind of the result of what we've been talking about, that
Yeah.
they are this generic, glossed over product that doesn't try to have any real auteur personality. They are just trying to appeal to the lowest common denominator. And by doing so, it's just like full of the cringiest, try hard fucking scenes that make you want to kill yourself.
Yeah, but I think like in a weird way, like the prequel debate, it's not even about Star Wars. I feel like it's almost like taking away the boomers' powers, you know? It's like telling them like telling them that like the original trilogy wasn't that good is like telling them the Holocaust isn't real, you know? It's just like, what do you mean? But but it happened. Or
It
like
was in the books. It was in the
yeah,
history books.
we're telling them like, oh yeah, I don't think the moon landings are real. They're like, no, we went to the moon. It was the most important thing in the world. It's,
Come on, dude. We go to the moon all the
oh,
time.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I know what you mean. And honestly, because like those movies are okay,
Yeah,
but
sure.
George has like gone back and repeatedly raped those movies.
Yeah.
I I once went to the Traverse City Film Festival straight out of high school, and I
Yeah.
saw episode 4 on this gigantic inflatable screen in the middle of a field. It was just like the craziest experience. And you're watching it, you're like, yeah, this is pretty great. And then all of a sudden, some totally hack fucking Photoshop CG from 30 years past the movie's date just like crawls across the screen, blocking out the whole screen. You go, who the fuck? Who did this? What the fuck? So it's like, the legacy of those movies have been, just like, is that even intact anymore?
Yeah, they CGI, re CGI did. That's something you gotta be careful about.
He just
Not
keeps
really.
raping his own movies.
You at some point you lose the touch. I mean, it happens to all of us. Um, well, it
Well,
will
it's like,
happen to all of us eventually. But yeah.
well, I hope when I lose my touch, I don't make a movie about fucking black pilots.
Right. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Just gotta
But yeah.
you gotta quit while you're ahead. Like I don't know. I'm always trying to find my exit ramp. Like yeah, it'll be after this many stories. I'm gonna go back to not doing art, but who knows? It doesn't seem to work though. It seems like people are still making albums when they're like 65. Like I don't know.
Yeah. Quentin Tarantino seems to be one of the only people who's been very consistent in his um in his claims that he does not want to like continue making movies past this certain number. He wants this next one to be his last. He's like always said that, like,
Yeah.
this one will be like the last one, and then I'm fucking done, because people overstay their welcome. They continue making movies like way, decades way past their prime, and they're just like turning out, like they're just turning out shit. And it seems like you really gotta, it's like you gotta maybe have some sort of conception or conceptualization of your output and your legacy of some kind, or maybe that gets too in the way, but I feel like if you don't, then you end up just like making schlock for a really long time, and that kind of tarnishes the way people remember you, because there's so many great auteurs, great directors who continue to make shit, and you go, yeah, those years, those were his prime years. Those movies, those were so fucking good. Yeah, that last one he made, that wasn't that good. That was all right, but oh yeah, but those early ones, those were the shit. It's like you got to have some conception of your time and
Yeah.
your output.
No, and actually, have you like the one that came up to my mind? Have you watched any of like Clint Eastwood's recent films?
No, because they all look like an old man made them.
Shit, that's what I was thinking too. Like,
It's like he's like 95. I think I just looked this up a couple days ago. He's
Holy
95 years
fuck.
old. He's still making fucking movies. And some people are embarrassingly still trying to be like, he's still got it. He's still got it. It's like, really? You think fucking Clint from the 70s is the same Clint
Yeah.
now? Like, it's just not. It's not true. He's making geriatric films for geriatric patients. And whatever, it's
Yeah.
okay. He already kind of tarnished his legacy by doing those a while ago, and that's fine. But I don't want to be that guy. I don't want to
Yeah.
be the guy who doesn't realize, like, oh shit, I'm 95 and I'm making bad movies or something. It's like I kind of want to be like, I'd hope that I'd have the sort of wherewithal that Quentin has, which is that, I've got a nice body of work. I think I'm starting to push it a little bit. I can feel myself getting older and I'm feeling myself pushing it. Maybe this is a good time to settle down.
No, yeah, man. Because like, I mean, Clint had a good legacy. It's just like, like, I mean, as long as he enjoys it, whatever. Like, I guess it's a hobby for him now. But like, just think, like, every time I see him, it looks like he's kind of falling apart. He's like 95 or whatever. But
He looks like he's
just
gonna keel over any
yeah.
second.
But
Yeah, same thing with Martin Scorsese. He's I love him. I love
oh, okay, yeah,
most of
yeah,
his
yeah.
movies. And he's the same thing. He's pushing 80 something, almost 90 something. It's like he's, that's coming to a close. I mean, people definitely argue over whether or not his past few movies are good at all. So
I forgot. Was he the guy that made Megalopolis, or was that somebody else?
that was someone else. That was Francis Ford Coppola. But
Okay.
same thing with him. It's just
Okay.
like he he's super old. He hasn't made like a crazy fucking banger movie in almost 20 years. uh and but no one quite has the heart to be like, this isn't, well, actually, Megalopolis finally came out and people were like, all right, dude, you are old. You're
Did
like,
you
you
watch
kind of lost
Megalopolis?
it. Yeah, I saw it twice in theaters.
Okay.
I
What was your thoughts?
I actually I like that movie.
Okay.
Um, I know it was very polarizing. A lot of people think it's like the dumbest fucking movie ever. Um, but I liked it. I thought it was unhinged and weird as fuck, and it really worked on me. Um,
Okay.
but you can see he just released something called the Mega Doc, and
A
it's
mega dog.
like a 2 hour long documentary about the behind the scenes, and you can see that he is like, he's tired. He's not the same guy he used to be, and there are like extended sequences of him fighting with Shia LaBeouf behind the scenes because
Fuck.
neither of them are communicating with each other properly. They just it's just not cohesive. It's just not working. Funny enough, I think that's one of Shia's best roles. but you can see that he was utterly confused and didn't know exactly what the fuck this guy was trying to communicate. Um, yeah, so it's just like, and he's actually been in podcasts where he's bashed Megalopolis. He's like, yeah, I didn't like working on that movie.
Yo, that's
So
crazy.
yeah, so I think that's a lesson to be learned with him too. Is
I
that
mean, Shy's always been hardcore, man. When he did the "We Will Not Divide Us" shit.
dude, yeah, I've always been so fascinated by him. Um, because he just like all of a sudden stopped making mainstream movies and started
Mhm.
doing like explicit art house shit. Like, he when he lost his mind back in like 2014, it
Yeah.
all basically coincided with him being a part of this incredible art house Danish film called Nymphomaniac, where you watch people have gratuitous sex the whole movie. Um, and he's in it. He's fantastic. He showed up to the red carpet premiere wearing a paper bag over his head with eye
Yeah.
slits cut out, and yeah, it said "I am not famous anymore" or whatever on the bag. um, yeah, and just had a complete fucking meltdown over the next couple of years as he wrestled with his fame and his legacy and all that shit. Dude, makes me wonder if actually like a younger artist should take account of themselves every now and then, so to avoid getting older and not realizing you're getting too old.
Yeah, I mean it happens for all of us, and hopefully by that time, I don't know if it's possible for us, but hopefully by that time you have retirement money or some shit. Or it's
Yeah, I'm
gonna be
gonna go.
yeah.
We'll get a private island with our soap scum hate spree money.
Yeah, listen, we'll be millionaires soon. It'll happen any day, and we
It's
definitely
right
won't be
around the corner.
we definitely won't be like door dashing when we're 95. I would really suck.
No, dude, nope, not us,
Yeah,
not me.
I just have to
Um,
I just have to find out like Peter Thiel, like listen here, bro. I got this movie, man. You're gonna love it.
Pete, come on, man.
Yeah.
Let's have a real sit down. I've got some movie ideas. You
Yeah.
might want to hear them.
You don't even need to make it. I just need the option so I can have $1 million. Is that cool?
I think you just need to donate to the cause of me being alive and making art and
Yeah.
yeah.
To convince Peter Thiel. Like I need to like find him when he's at a passage ball and then like shove hate spree into his arms and be like, "You need to make a movie out of this, please, please." You know.
Trust me, it'll be the best fucking movie ever.
Yeah. Actually, that makes me think. I mean, you've gotten back into like making movies, and actually, did any of your footage get into the Caleb video for Wine or?
No, they
Okay.
so when he went to Chicago, he the girl he was with brought this like VHS camcorder,
Okay.
and so that had a very specific looking style to it. It's got that Blair Witch old grainy footage kind of looking style to it, and my iPhone footage definitely wouldn't have been compatible with that. They probably would have had to like do some weird photo editing or something, and just put some layers and shit on top of it. So as it is, it's just like I'm pretty sure it's just the footage they shot in Chicago with their camcorder, but it's a mood. Did you see the video or no?
Yeah, dude. Shout out Caleb Petty made our intro. Song's killer. Love the song, and I thought the video was also awesome too. Thought it was really good
Yeah, I
visuals.
yeah, I love the video. I thought it was a great extension of everything that he loves visually is definitely there. It's just like a total vibe. That whole video, the song is, yeah, and it's hot as hell. Uh, you know,
Yeah, he's got
you
some
know,
good, awesome chicks in there.
yeah. I like that he definitely agrees with us about um representations of sexuality and art and stuff like that. So that video is explicit in a way and trying to be hot intentionally. So, with close-ups of like that girl's crotch and some of the editing to just like highlight like the female body and stuff like that.
Then 20
Definitely
years
intentionally.
later,
So great.
that chick is gonna be like, "We didn't hire an intimacy recorder. Caleb Petty raped me," you know. If they, that's not gonna happen. That'd be like really gay.
They bring back Me Too for his
Yeah.
for his music video. Oh my god. Yeah. It's like, ah man, I that's also what's great about the video is like
Yeah.
because like making art like that is a total middle finger to that sort of mindset, and it's gonna make me sound like
Badass.
a feminist. It's gonna make me sound like a feminist, but like it is demeaning to women to assume that they can't like uh that they don't like want to like own their sexuality in that sort of way.
Well,
So
it they do, and it's just, they shouldn't get away with it. You know, like if you do that, don't tell me 20 years later that I raped you because that didn't fucking happen. Okay,
right,
that's it.
yeah,
You can't. And like it's so stupid that all these bitches can just be like, this guy raped me, this guy raped me, and it's like, shouldn't like the court like take them to have damages for like making a false accusation? And it's just like, no, they just get to walk away. Like, what kind of fucking stupid shit is this? Like, if you make an accusation against somebody about rape, you should probably be punished for it. I'm just saying. What the
No,
fuck?
yeah, that's absolutely psychotic. I mean, uh, yeah, mattress girl, mattress
Yeah,
girl should be in prison. You know,
so
like
stupid.
I, I totally agree. There's definitely should be some repercussions for that kind of shit because it really was, especially at the height of it, it was just this insanely dogmatic witch hunt, as everybody liked to call it. It was a witch
Yeah,
hunt. It was it was totally insane to live through that.
zero
You know, and to
accountability.
still right, and we're still experiencing like the vicarious aftermath of that. We're still experiencing the trickle effects of that. That was such a huge it was such a huge thing to just demonize all men for their sexuality and make all women these virtuous religious figures who have the utmost purity and could never possibly fall whim to a sexual urge in their life.
Yeah, for sure. And but yeah, like so going back. So I guess none of your footage was in Caleb Petty, and
Yeah,
he's
yeah.
he's
Yep.
is he saving it for later? Hopefully.
I don't know. I
Okay.
think since like we mainly just shot um some like exterior woods shit and I think like the main important thing we shot was that long shot of him driving and lip singing to Wine. So I
Yeah.
think I don't think any of that'll appear in it, but
Damn.
um I was talking to him on the phone the other day, and we definitely are gonna plot some sort of music video sort of thing here. I'm thinking within the next few months. Uh,
Yeah.
Definitely do another meetup, sort of get together thing. Um, this might be getting a little too personal, but
Sure.
my birthday is 2 days after his,
Yeah.
so we're already plotting some kind of double birthday party sort of thing.
Yo, that sounds awesome.
Yeah,
It's
dude.
gonna be lit.
So I'm not too sure all the details of that, but yeah, that's on the horizon. We'll definitely make a music video. Uh, I'm assuming within the next few months, probably.
Sure. I was just curious because because I know you do films. Like, have you ever considered like I don't know that Soap Scum would ever be a movie, or maybe you're like eventually you'd make a movie out of like one of your books or something along those lines.
Think about that sometimes. I especially thought about making a quick sort of trailer for Soap Scum when I was gonna drop it. Like I was actually gonna get like dollies and red cameras and like all this shit and film little like 20-second previews for all the shorts and then connect it into one long sort of little video.
Hmm.
Um, that never came to fruition, obviously. Um, but I do think every now and then I'm like, oh man, I feel uh like watching Sourwood as a film would be fucking cool. Um, yeah, so every now and then, but right now I'm trying to conceptualize some idea for a movie that I could make with Caleb.
Oh shit. Okay. Okay. That's dope.
I've been talking to him for a couple months now. I'm like, I'm gonna crack this nut. Like this, this is gonna come to me. And I have some ideas that are sort of loose, but I kind of feel them visually. But as far as plots go, they're kind of loose. So uh, it's I'm definitely gonna be brainstorming for a little while. But I see that on the horizon as well. That I'll crack this fucking nut and cast Caleb to do something crazy, and then Omar King has to be a side character too.
Yo, you gonna record? Okay. Sick. Yeah. 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 No, that makes because like Kale definitely has main star energy, and Omar, if you get him
Yeah,
on camera, that'd be probably sick too. A lot of cool stuff
yeah.
you could do.
Dude, I think Omar could could be any character in any movie. So I just like I want to see him. I like, dude. I feel like I could write some like 1920s televangelist preacher role for fucking Omar. That would be such an incredible movie to watch.
Yeah.
Or, or just like to literally just film Omar and just have him ramble and rant about like the meaning of love. That's got to be in a movie, okay? That I think I have to be the one to film that because
Yeah.
I just want that. I want to own uh some filmic embodiment of Omar ranting about the joys of love or something. I don't know. I see that.
No. I mean, future's bright. Who knows what's gonna come up? I mean, it's exciting times.
Yeah, who fucking knows?
It's just gonna be the future. But yeah, I mean, we've been talking for a minute. I don't know if you have any other thoughts or
Not
anything.
really. Yeah, because this whole episode was kind of was sort of strange.
Yeah.
Just being like, well, we don't have Ogden for too much time, so we'll do that for this, and then we'll just chit chat for the other bit. So
Yeah.
um,
It was
I
yeah.
feel pretty satisfied.
It was funny because it was like Miles was like, Miles, we can't. Miles was like, oh, I can't show up. It's like, okay, cool, that's fine. We'll just do Ogden. Then Ogden comes up, yo, I can only be here for 40 minutes. I'm like, fuck, like where's your
As soon
content?
as Yep. And literally, as soon as we got shit figured out, we're like, okay, no more three people, just the
Yeah,
one guy, And then he goes, actually, I can only do, we're like,
yeah,
and then it's almost for a half second, you're like, wait, can we get them all back on again? Maybe
yeah.
it would be a great 3 episode, but no, I'm pretty satisfied with what we ended up doing, and
No,
Ogden
I
was a really chill fucking guy.
yeah, Ogden was awesome, and then also like I think it was worth it to talk about Charlie Kirk and how that's affected us and the art and just current event things that were going on. I think it's a good catch up for the past 4 weeks. We haven't been on however long, and the next time will be a banger. It will be a banger. I mean, this one was a
Yeah.
banger, but
I agree. I agree. We turned a strange situation into a pretty banger episode, and then we will continue to roll out bangers as usual.
yeah, because even behind the Tukey's guys, they put out two like awesome episodes. They did the Fed book and they did the Minstrel, which were both epic.
Oh my god, yes, the minstrel, the
Yeah,
minstrel was so funny. Hearing Gabe do his best like Sam Hyde Jamaican accent.
that was so Kino, bro. And then they all did the play. Oh my goodness.
Oh my god, yeah. And Cap as interlocutor. I mean, what a perfect
Yes.
role. Just and honestly, beyond the obvious sort of aggressive nature of like what they're talking about. It was interesting. It was super interesting to
Yeah.
hear David go into the history of minstrel shows and like what they meant to the culture at the time, and how people responded to them. And I didn't know any of that shit. But I found that super interesting. So
Also, you
yeah,
know, that guy is like whoever is uploading this shit. He's more hardcore than me, bro. Like I didn't. He's like a true
yeah.
troll. Like I love this guy, whoever he is. Shout out to him.
He's the most hardcore guy in our fucking scene.
Yeah, and nobody knows who he
But
is.
they
This guy just uploads onto the internet archive. It's just like some anon who's like just doing it for the love of the game.
right. And I guess they did get it removed.
Yeah,
I'm not too sure if they're back up by the time we drop this, but yeah, that is the true mark of a transgressive artist is if they get their shit removed, like right
yeah,
after, you know, someone Pookies reviews it and then people go, oh, that's not okay,
yeah.
that's not allowed, yeah. So such gross, fucking ugly leftist behavior to take down art like that.
Is the open archive really open? I don't think so. More like the closed archive. Yeah.
Yeah, bro.
But yeah, I think that's
Dude.
it for the
Yeah.
Subversions episode 11. You know, the sharks. We're coming back. We're hungry. We're gonna climb our way back up to being epic. So
We are hungry sharks. We're looking for our next meal. We're coming for you, and you better feed us.
hell yeah. So this is me, King Cringe, obviously signing out. Buy my book on Amazon, Hate Spree 2. Hate Spree 1 physical coming soon. I don't know when, but really soon. And Jesse.
Yeah, this is Ben Jesse Larkins, the author of Soap Scum, and I hope you all have a great rest of your day.